Hi everybody, welcome back to Cursed Controllers. I'm Koi Jesus, and we're going to be playing more Last of Us today. And we have a guest today. So, Mr. Guest, what is your name and pronouns? I think I outed you by saying Mr. anyway.
Oh, yes, absolutely. My name is Brent from the BrentZone there on Twitch and a few other handles as well out there. But that's kind of the thing I like to plug for the most. So, yeah, that's me. Normally go by he, but, whatever suits you works. So.
I noticed that, like, I can't access any of your stuff other than your Twitter on your Twitch, like, panels. Why?
Oh, I might have broke some things. I might have changed some URLs and then forgot to update them on Twitch.
It's like
Probably
just
what
your
happened.
Twitter and then a thing telling me that, like, Dr. Eggman is going to come fuck my mom or something.
That does happen. That actually happens.
Okay.
I was gonna save that for a surprise. I didn't want to tell you were gonna be have another
I mean,
younger brother, but
he's in for a bigger surprise, I think. But,
oh, absolutely.
but,
It's like, get a load of this. He's just gonna full on.
I need to open Discord because that's where all my questions
either your mom
are.
is gonna be playing Sonic Adventure in the next room, or it's just gonna be like Robotnik just going to town.
It's probably the latter.
It's like every single Sonic quote out there in a video game, you can use it as like a one-liner during sex.
Can you? Give me one.
Yeah,
give me a Sonic one-liner that you can use.
Get a load of this.
I feel like
Charlotte, let me show you how fast I am. I mean, it's not a complimentary one, but
I feel like if a guy said, "Get a load
slow.
of this" to me, you're too slow as fucked.
Yeah.
I feel like if a guy said, "Get a load of this" to me, I would not be impressed.
I didn't say they were good lines. I'm just saying you could use them.
I'm just saying you can use them. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's
Exactly.
fair.
Exactly.
Sonic quotes.
Sonic quotes. Why are we looking? Oh boy.
There you go. Look up Sonic quotes to use while making out.
I'll make you eat those words.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely. Shara, I wish for Mountain of Handkerchiefs. He says that at the end of Secret Rings. That's another one. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if there's a happy tissues or sad tissues, but they're probably a little bit of both.
So, is that all you do? Is play Sonic?
That's what you would think. That's what you would think, judging by the thing. But if you have me on any things that's connected to like friend things, you'll see me playing like a dozen different games a day. So yeah, you'll see me playing a lot. I stream a lot of Sonic, but I play a lot of other stuff too.
I mean, that's fair, but I do have you on Discord, and most of the time I still just see you playing Sonic, even when you're not streaming, man.
That's true. You're probably
probably
so you gotta catch me. You gotta catch me on a weekend when I'm not streaming. If you see me on Saturdays or over the weekend, you probably see me playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, some BioShock, some. I play a ton of stuff. I was playing. What was that one game? Sea of Stars recently. That was awesome. I don't play JRPGs. Yeah, I don't play JRPGs. My buddy, who's like one of my best friends, he's just like, "Yo, man, you got to check this out. Like, it's cool because for like newbies like you, it's not like condescending to people like you, but it's also like it kind of holds your hand with a lot of things. Like, it's accessible. So I'm like, yo, sign me up, and it's on Game Pass. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
So-
man, I need to check that one out.
That game
Yeah, I think Rainbow Dragon Eyes did the music, and yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it has a lot of inspiration from a lot of like SNES RPGs, like Super Mario RPG. So like it's very-
Chrono Trigger. I think there was a
Yeah.
composer for Chrono Trigger listed on there as well as Rainbow Dragon Eyes. Really cool stuff.
Chrono Trigger's so good.
So that's the thing. My experience with those is like mostly watching my buddy play it, and again, it was the aforementioned friend. He used to be my roommate, and I would watch him play RPGs because I sucked at it because I didn't know where the fuck to go. So I just sit there and watch him wander around instead, and just laugh at him. So, yeah.
I get it. I get
that.
it. I don't
get
play a
into
lot of RPGs. Yeah.
I didn't get into RPGs until I was in college. So
Brent's probably like, I have no idea how old these fucking guys are. It's like
That's I had to look at the bio just very briefly, and then I think one of them said 22. I don't
I don't even know if we're the same age. Tyler and I actually went to high school together.
we're actually
Nice.
born like 2 weeks apart.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you guys definitely like strike me as around that age. I don't know. Like it's funny. It's like the older you get, the more you can figure those things out.
Yeah,
a
of
little more
course.
easily. Especially like, oh, one thing I like to do is like when people like are like, oh, I love this series and I first played this one. Then I'm thinking to myself, okay, when did that happen? Because I'm bad at remembering dates, but like what saves my ass, especially for like anniversary shit, like with my wife, is
Mhm.
like, okay, when did this game release? Like, okay, when did we first meet? Well, it was
Dude,
after this Assassin's
yes.
Creed, but before this Sonic
Yes.
game.
I do the
And I'll be like,
same
okay.
thing. Do the
It's like it
same
landmarks my
exact thing.
life.
That's so funny. Oh, you keep
Mhm.
bringing up Assassin's Creed as the resident Assassin's
Mm,
Creed guy. What's your
yeah.
favorite? Which one's your favorite?
Oh shit, man. Okay, so
You can say
I'm
two
always
things that
torn.
will piss me off. You can say two
Okay, well, I'm
things
always
that will
torn
piss me off.
between two and Brotherhood. Usually is when I'm torn between those two.
Mhm.
Those are the
Okay.
things. Now, the first one though, I don't think anything will ever touch that, and I think that's that lightning in a bottle that they can never touch is the first one, because
Yeah,
that was my very first one. That was that. So it's kind of
mine
like
too.
that's going to be ingrained in me. So yeah, I'll never forget like how that game made me feel. So
I'm not sure how old you are, but if you want to feel old, I was 8, 7 when Assassin's
Oh
Creed
yeah,
1 came out.
I'm used to feeling old, so
Uh,
yeah. So yeah,
it's okay.
I think that's kind of cool though, because like when I was that age, I was playing like a bunch of other stuff. So and then there are people saying, "Oh, well, I played Atari," and I'm like, "Well, that's before my time, Mister." But
That is very much
I'm, I'm
before
I'm
my
glad
time.
I'm glad to hear your thoughts on it. I won't feel the same way about those games. Like I don't think I can touch
Ooh.
many things before the NES. NES was like my first console, so I'm like, yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know. You know.
I'm kind of right there with you. Even though I am like 10 years, 12 years younger than you are, I
Mhm.
had like the same thing because the NES was like my first console because my parents, we weren't very like, we didn't have a lot of money and they went to a flea market and found an
Yeah.
NES with like 30 games for like $10.
Oh, that's so cool. That's great though, because
Yeah.
you get like a lot of perspective that way too. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and that's why I think it's cool. Like, see, if I had grown up with an Atari, I probably would feel a little bit different about it. Like,
Yeah.
I played a little bit at a buddy's house for like shits and giggles. We played ET, we played Journey, based on the
Oh,
band,
Hmm.
a few
Hmm.
other things, and it was
Journey
just kind of
based
like,
on the
okay,
band is hilarious.
yeah, it was, yeah, like it's like you're flying like upwards, like you move the character along the bottom of the screen. Think like Space
Yeah.
Invaders, but I guess the gimmick is they're sort of flying through space, but you can't tell because the graphics are shit, and they're like shooting shit that comes at them, and it's kind of cool. It's a cool concept to think of, but that's the thing, you kind of have to use your imagination with those games. They're not like
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
much to look at. So
It's
yeah.
it's so weird to me to think about like how everyone experiences video games at their own time, especially because we're all born specifically like different
Yeah,
times,
dude,
and we can
we
have like
just had
similar
Trudel
things.
on. We just had Trudel on Friday, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I just started Breath of the Wild like 2 nights
Yeah.
ago." I'm like, man, I was 16 when Breath of the Wild came out, and
God.
I was like begging
Yeah.
my parents. I was like, guys, please get me out of school early so I can go get my new
Yeah.
game that I want. And
Oh, that's so cool.
they were like, dude, we're already buying it for you. No.
We're already buying it for you.
Yeah,
Good parents.
you can
Good
at least
parents.
wait until after school's out. So why Sonic? Like what draws you to Sonic so much? Is it nostalgia? Is it just something that's comfortable?
Yeah, that's a great question because like you'd think after like playing the same game like every fucking week I'd be sick of it, but I'm not. Well, the funny thing is I
That's
do
how I
that in
feel with
general,
Pikmin
but like
3.
I
So
Hmm.
but now I broadcast this and know my dirty secrets out. I play a lot of Sonic.
yeah, it
But
is a horrendous
I
secret.
think it's okay. So the thing for me is it always feels fresh because whenever like I'm playing the game, like there's a million different like routes you can take. And
Yeah.
like I like having a point A to point B because it's like it's simple. I can wrap my simple brain around it.
Hmm.
And like so say like you play through a stage and then you say, "Oh, I want to go back and replay that stage." You'll be like, "Whoa, I didn't see this route." So there's like all these different
Hmm.
routes and different possibilities of routes you could take that sort of all
Hmm.
like intertwine. So you could always go back to your familiar path that you're used to, that you're comfortable with. But when you deviate from that, there's always something cool to find. But that cool thing has the same purpose as the other routes, and it leads you back to that. So it's really everything. It's that. It's the music. It's the atmosphere it creates. It was like one of those things where like I fell in love with Mario, but then like Sonic is kind of what like blew my mind open and was like, hey, look, a platformer can be so much more than just like this. You could you could have like really detailed graphics, awesome backgrounds, like It just nothing that Mario did, as much as I loved it, and I still love it, just doesn't really compare to like how
Yeah.
much like passion is squeezed into Sonic games. Like it's got this, I don't know, it's just got this impeccable like style to it that I
The
don't
one
really think is really
thing,
matched by anything else.
the
So
one thing that Nintendo hasn't done yet is give Mario a gun. So
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
they were like,
I
hey,
had to
what
watch
if
like
we,
Robot Chicken for that. I watched Robot Chicken and they had guns,
Dude,
but that was it.
yes.
Like
He kind of has one. He kind of has
And
one.
name one gun that Mario has ever
not the
had.
one
Mario
between
plus
his
Rabbids.
legs.
It's the
Okay,
Mario plus
well.
Rabbids games. That's
Mario's got a
literally-
fucking meat cannon shooting dirty ropes. That's about it. That's about it.
And
We
Smash
can't.
Brothers. I was gonna say Smash Brothers. You can't really count that because like everybody has one. That's just I don't know. Yeah, you know what?
I want to see
Mario hasn't
Mario
had a
get
gun.
custom.
I
with
want to
it.
hear Mario say fuck. I want to hear him say fuck.
Dude,
Yeah, I would
yes.
say damn, but like he hasn't cursed for so long. He stayed clean for so long.
He needs to
that
go
he
full
needs to
send.
say
He needs
fuck.
to say cunt
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
He needs to go
And
crazy with it.
He does. He really does. I mean, Sonic said damn. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sonic said damn
What?
in Shadow of
When?
the Hedgehog.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
one mission in Shadow of the Hedgehog where if you fail the mission, Sonic's like, "Damn, they got away! Leave it to me, I'll chase him down." And that's like the only time he says "damn." But he says it. He checked it off the list. And if you don't
That's
get hit
crazy.
with, if you play really well and you don't take any damage, you don't die as Shadow because that's who you play as.
Yes.
Then then it's canon that Sonic it rubbed off on Shadow when he said "damn." So you could make that canon for one of the endings.
That's
I
amazing.
love that
I
game.
didn't know
I
that.
love
Sonic
that
could be a bad
game.
influence. Yeah. Oh, me too.
that
Me too. I play that game regularly. It's it's always a great time. Like we
was
play on
a
extra
childhood
mode.
game.
It's great. It's great.
That was a childhood game for me on the PlayStation 2. God, I absolutely
Nice.
loved playing that game.
Oh,
I
it's so
think
good.
Rini and
it's
I
so bad
tried
it's
playing
good.
Shadow like once, but I was way too fucking high for it. I was like freaking out. I was like, why is he talking? Why does he have a gun? I was like,
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna get all sorts of like jump scares too if you're high while doing that because you're gonna get like voices and shit coming out of nowhere. Like you think the devil's talking to you and you're like, no, that's just Shadow's Space Daddy.
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Moon is what his name is. Yeah.
well, I'm
So
schizophrenic, so the devil already talks to me. So we're
Well, there you go. So
We're
you're
cool on
one
that
step
front.
closer. We just need to get you some rocket sneakers, and you'll be Shadow the Hedgehog. Get some red streaks in the hair.
yes.
That's what
Oh
I'm
my
saying.
god. Yes.
You're almost there.
We
You're over
gotta
the
tell
hardest
Rini
part.
about this. We gotta tell Rini about this.
We gotta,
Brent,
yeah,
what-
absolutely gotta tell
Brent,
them about this.
what's your how'd you even get into Sonic? Was it like the Genesis? Was it the Dreamcast?
Yes. Excellent question, actually. So, I grew up with NES, so that was like 8-bit.
Yeah.
Then 16-bit came around, and that was hot shit. My dad was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is cool. We could play arcade games on here," because he loved going to the arcade as a kid, right? So he's like, "They got Terminator. We got like the Menacer guns." So he wanted all the cool shit that the Genesis was peddling, because that's where Sega, cut its teeth. It's called service games, right? They did arcade games. So when they brought the arcade experience to home on their 16-bit machine, the Sega Genesis, Mega Drive for people in the overseas, there was Sonic the Hedgehog was one of like the showcase games for that. And so Sonic 2 specifically, I came with the Genesis Model 2 because that's when my dad got on board with it. Like after they already went through like the Model 1, like I think a year prior. I think the console generations moved way faster back then. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was so
They
that
had
was like
to
a
survive.
revolutionary new thing. Like it was like
Yeah.
we had that, and that's kind of what got me into that. And like I never stopped playing it because like they always brought something new and ambitious to the table, even if it didn't stick, like even if it wasn't like a great idea, like a lot of the things I did in Shadow and stuff like that, it was still fun in its own way. And I was just like, and I appreciate that the more I get older. Like, back then, like people, like you look at critic reviews and stuff and they're shitting all over it for not being part of the, classic formula. But as you get older, you're like, yo, this is kind of based. Like, Sonic Riders, a video game where you get on an airboard that like, you're just kind of like going around like, like riding off of people's, slipstreams and stuff. And it's a new kind of racing game. I like that. Oh, Big the Cat Fishing. That's a new kind of game in general. Like that has nothing to do with Sonic,
Slipstream.
But I nowadays I fucking love it. It's it pisses me off, but I love it. So
Okay, so the
I
games
don't
are
know,
still
it's-
infuriating to you.
Sometimes, yeah. So if you've seen me play, It's just like especially if I'm trying to go quickly and like say I'm trying to beat my record. I do that like every week with Sonic Adventure, right? I play start to finish.
Yeah.
It takes me about 2 hours. I sit down and just do a casual speed run of it, and I just kind of like sit there and I'm playing as big and I'm like, come on, Froggy, you piece of shit, get over here, because he'll start swimming one way trying to snap your line, and I'm like, get over here. Yeah,
Oh.
the frog gives me grief. It's terrible. And I still to this day can't figure out, like, I know kind of what to do to combat it, but I don't know how to circumvent it 100% without doing like some weird speed run hacky skip sort of thing. But at
Yeah.
that point you're not even playing the game, so that's kind of defeating the purpose for me. I'm just there to have fun, not to like get on leaderboards and shit. So
Yeah, we had to stop the playthrough of Sonic Adventure 1 before we could get to the big stages during Quayathon Hope. It just took way too fucking long because that game is infuriating and awful.
well, if you don't know where, yeah, and that's the thing is, if you don't know where the stuff is, and it's like I don't expect people nowadays to do that. Like, I love Sonic, but I can't recommend all of the games 100% to people, especially when it's a mixed bag like that. Because it's like I'm asking you to learn like 6 different gameplay styles, and it's like, that might have been fine for a kid who had a lot of time on their hands, who grew up playing that game, but for like an adult who's like got X amount of time before they have to like go start their next shift at work, and they're just trying to like unwind for the day, it's like not exactly accessible.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to unwind, just like
yeah.
pick up like Zelda or something.
Yeah,
Shoot
well, that's the
through
thing
a
too. There are
temple
some
and
Sonic
that's it.
games that do a better job at it. Like they're more centralized,
Yeah.
like Sonic Frontiers. Like Sonic Frontiers, like okay, again, it takes a page out of Zelda, where it's like, hey, just you can complete any of these kinds of objectives. It doesn't have to be these specific ones, and then you'll unlock like the next thing. I mean, there's like key points you got to get to, sure, for the story, but how you pace yourself to get to that point is totally up to you. Like what
Yeah.
what key items you want to get to like unlock the next part. So they've done a good job at like centralizing that and then making anything that's extra be like a side thing. So that's and if there's a different kind of gameplay style involved, they do a much better job at sort of explaining that to you instead of saying, okay, good luck, go find Froggy, and you're looking around everywhere and it turns out he's right where the start is, and it's just like really insulting. It's like just gameplay decisions game design decisions like that they've gotten much better
Yeah.
at. So
No, I'm kind of a poser. I've never really played any Sonic games, at least not all the way through. I've
No, you're
given it a real genuine shot, but
it might not be your bag.
He's tried.
no.
No, you tried.
Tyler knows I've tried.
That's like games. That's like games with me with like Mega Man. Like I've maybe beat a couple of them, but they weren't the originals. They were like Mega Man X or like something really easy. Maybe Mega Man 11 on like easy mode. I forget. No, was it 11? No, yeah, 11 and 9 with easy modes, or was it 10? It was one of the later ones that they came out like way after they thought the Mega Man series was like dead and gone, and and it kind of like resurrected.
Yeah, and it had
was
like that weird half revival that wasn't really
Yeah.
good, but wasn't great either.
Right. Exactly. So that's kind of like the ones that I could beat on the easiest modes. So
Yeah.
I have series that I'm kind of a fan of, like Mega Man and stuff, or like Zelda, but like I haven't like beaten all the games or anything. Or with Mega Man, I've only beaten a couple. Zelda, I've beaten maybe a handful.
That's the one that's a
but yeah.
shame to me.
Oh yeah,
God damn. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm kind of a one-trick pony. I play Pikmin. I play Zelda. God damn,
there you
these
go.
guys are just
Hey, I got my bag. I play Mario. I play that. I play.
Yeah.
Kai and I, before Chew Controllers became Chew Controllers, we did a thing called Showdown, which we still do, where we race through games. And we tried doing Sonic Adventure 2 battle, and that didn't go down so well.
I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I can't handle this. I was like, this is too fucking much.
I tie myself to the torture rack every week for that. I think you've seen that, Coy. I don't know if
I have.
been there on Friday night.
Ooh, I've been there with you, brother. I get
It's
it.
like what? It's like you're watching a YouTube poop unfold on live.
Yeah, it's
whatever. It's
seeing
like what is going
seeing
on?
Rouge grow. Like,
That was great.
It's just all time, man. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's
Well, it's easy. You just type the grow command and you just repeat it over and over and over. That's how you do it. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's the end of Sonic Adventure 2 right there.
Oh my god.
Huge the Bat.
How do you even beat the game with Huge the Bat?
Right, exactly. You just got to know where your hitbox is. It's funny. They'll shrink you to like teeny tiny or make you like extra huge, and you just kind of have to like be so familiar with the game that you just know where your hitbox is. So like
Like,
imagine if you did that with Zelda, like you're like if you're playing Zelda and somebody, you know, it's like, okay, I'm aware that Link's hitbox is this big, even though the character model is like the size of an ant. Like, you know, it's stuff like that. You just gotta. Yeah.
Dude, that's just what it's like playing the older Pikmin games. That's all.
Yeah, there you go.
God,
Apply
yeah.
Pikmin logic to it. Exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
So,
Like what was like Olimar like teeny tiny, like the size of a I don't know how big, like a bug or something. Or,
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
I want to
And then
get
they're
into
like,
one of
oh,
my.
Ridley can't go into Smash, but you know Olimar can. Like.
Oh yeah, they fucking put him in there. I want to get into one of
Yeah.
my interview questions. I just want to know your
Yeah.
your 3 biggest inspirations just in life.
Oh wow.
Life, making
That's a loaded
stuff.
question.
You know, if you just 3. You know, nothing crazy, and this isn't a trick question. I promise.
Okay, good. Oh man, 3 biggest inspirations are probably. We'll see. You know what? Probably. You know, so the usual stuff that I grew up with, like video games and Legos, and my desire to host things are probably my 3 biggest things. Because like I'm new to the whole Twitch thing, right? I mean, I've been on YouTube since like 2006, but I probably done jack and shit with it. Like I've uploaded maybe like a few things over the years. But like I'd say to me, those are the kind of the big things that come in. Like I always kind of want to bring that excitement and energy, like visually, that I, you know, enjoy. Like when I, you know, look at like, you know, video game box art, or when I like, you know, play a Sonic game, right? But I also think of it like Legos. I'm like, well, I'm not a good artist, but I can snap these pieces together and make something cool out of it. And then I think, okay, when I bring myself into this, like I want to bring myself into it like as literally as possible. So like here, you know, instead of like the VTuber approach or whatever, I'll be a flesh tuber and get on the camera. That sounds gross.
Tuber?
But that someone called me that one time, and I can't get it out of my head. Now it's in your guys' heads too.
That's just a nickname for like a pocket pussy or something.
Pretty much, yeah. That's basically what I am every Friday night, because they keep fucking me over in Sonic Adventure like every time. You know, they yeah. So, yeah, it's like this hedgehog man. I don't know. He just won't stop. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Wait, so Sonic himself is fucking you, or?
Oh well, yeah, more or less.
Well,
yeah, more or
most of the
less.
time,
Yeah,
most of the time.
it's like my sleep paralysis demon, you know.
Okay, yeah.
So that's it's yeah. I can't get rid of that. Like I can't get it out of my head ever. So kind of scarred for life there.
Yeah, I hate the phrase flesh tuber. That's
Yeah, someone brought that to me like one time, like, oh hey, you're a flesh tuber. And I'm like, and it took me a second to think about it. I'm like, wait, what is that, like VTuber? Is that what?
so someone says that to me, I say never talk to me again, and then I fucking block them.
They were too nice. They brought people and cookies.
No, fuck that, man. Fuck that. Someone says, "Oh, you're a flesh tuber," and I say, "Don't ever talk to me again. Why are you at my like funeral?" Fuck. These guys are gonna see me. Well, I mean, you ruined the trick question part of my question by not giving me people.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. If I could give you I don't know. Man, if I could give you a person, though, I'm too cynical for that, though. Like, I feel like I'm always like, man, screw this, you know, company or whatever, or, you know, I don't need anybody but my friends, you know what I mean? I act like kind of like,
totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm too jaded for that. But if I don't know, there's definitely like, you know, some friends that are really fucking cool. You know, that I definitely like owe some things to, you know, just for kind of helping give me that, you know, push that I need, you know, for encouragement. So yeah, like, you know, one of my buddies, you probably seen Dizzy Dennis hanging around in the streams. Man, I've been talking to that guy since like 05, and it was about games like Shadow the Hedgehog and stuff like that.
Man, you just don't
of all
quit
things.
with Sonic, huh? There we go. That guy's gone.
Don't.
Fuck.
I mean, it's you know, it's just kind
No,
of part of my
it's
blood.
okay.
You know,
I hang out with Rooney, I get
doctor
it.
pricks me and I like rings pop out. I don't know what happens, man.
A doctor pricks me and rings pop out. Man.
Yeah, that's just how it is, man.
Doctor pricks me and all that comes out is like lots of blood and gore, and they're like, dude, you need to stop coming in here.
But yeah, if I had to say one person, that's probably the person. So yeah.
That's good. I'm kind of glad that you subverted my expectations there, because my next question would have been, okay, now with those three people play Fuck, Marry, Kill, and
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
hold
So,
on,
but
hold on.
we
I'll
can still take
rethink
it that way.
I'll rethink it.
We could still take it that way if you want.
Well, what happened on Friday
like,
is
would you
our
marry
last
Sonic
guest.
or
Our last guest, his first inspiration was his dad, and so I was just like, oh, this makes this so much funnier now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So marry, fuck, kill, Legos, video games, and Sonic. I guess I don't know.
we could throw Dennis into one of those probably.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
probably throw
yeah.
Dennis into that.
Throw him in.
All right, you know what? That guy likes Sonic Spinball, so you know we're gonna have to kill that guy.
Okay, fair.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now it's
Sure.
okay to like Sonic Spinball,
Fair.
but how dare he say it was better than Sonic 3D Blast? That was an equally
That's
shitty
nice.
game, but don't tell him that. So that's exactly.
I'm lost.
You know
so.
what? And no.
So we kill that guy.
and then
Fuck that guy.
so we definitely definitely fuck that guy. I have to marry Sonic because he already gave me the ring.
Okay.
And lastly, that leads me to
saying
fucking
he
Legos.
gave you the ring is like, it sounds like an STD. He gave me the ring.
He did. The doctor looked at it, said that wasn't normal, but I just can't quit it. So
I just can't quit it. Just keep
I can.
going.
I can't. Yeah, exactly. He's got that hold on me, man.
Doc, he gave me the cock ring.
He did. Literally, yeah. It's not like that Lord of the Rings shit where it gets bigger when you put it on. No, it's like it's the same fucking size, man. It's terrible. I can't get that thing off. Shit, yeah. And then there's the whole fucking the Legos. I guess by default I'm gonna have to now stepping on Legos is painful. So I've already done that. So what's another Lego brick to fuck? It's
yeah,
fine.
you could probably
spit.
tough it out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just lube it up a little bit. You're fine.
Just lube it up a little bit.
That's probably what I do. I mean,
Nice.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you've seen those minifigures. I mean, come on.
Come on, they got some crazy blocks on them.
They do. Absolutely. They got angles for days.
You got mad angles.
Man, I got like so many fucking Lego experiences. Good shit. I fucking love that shit. I don't know if you guys ever played with Legos, but like the fact that when they cross over to video games, that was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, they always had like that, they always dipped a toe in it. Here's the occasional PC game or the web browser game, but when they went full on like Traveler's Tales took over and did like Lego Star Wars, right? They did, games like Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic R, whatever. They went over to doing like, the Lego Star Wars games and shit. That's when I was like, oh man, we got good Lego games now.
I never played any of those, man. That was not my speed. You and Tyler will get along on this one. I'm out for the count on this speed.
Yeah.
Well, just imagine like a platformer, but like the most basic platformer, but it's good, like it's well rounded.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I could put it. And like if you
What
got
the
like
fuck
an OCD
happened?
for like collecting shit, then you're good.
I went to skip the cutscene and it went out to main menu. This is the worst day of my life.
Oh, that's it. You didn't even save. You didn't put a memory card in. That's it, man. Yeah, that's it.
Nope, it's 2023, baby. We can load right into the cutscene. Just keep on going. God damn it! I missed my shot. I had the jump on him too.
I always loved playing Lego Star Wars when I was younger, and it got me very excited. I think it was like a year or two ago whenever they released the Lego Star Wars like collection thing that they did.
It was like a Skywalker or something or other. Yeah.
Skywalker Saga. That's right.
Mm-hmm. See, at first I thought it was just gonna be like they simply ported over the older games, but no, I heard it was like a whole new thing.
And like each story, because it's obviously it's based off of each movie. Is actually longer than what the original Lego Star Wars games were too.
Gotcha.
So like
I
it
didn't
doesn't
know
even
that.
skip like anything. Like it's so good, it looks so good, it plays good. The only bad thing about it is you can't kill the children.
Oh, you can't go like full. You can't. You'd be like Master Skywalker, what's up? And you can't, unsheath your lightsaber and not. Oh, man. That's the only reason I was going to play the game was to play as Anakin and play that scene.
There's a huge hub world. I think it's on Coruscant. You can't even like kill any of the children on there.
We had this
Like,
bit
just
before.
I mean, I can understand the ones that are canon, like you can't kill like Grogu or Baby Yoda as I know it or whomever, but You know, that I
Dude.
could understand because story reasons. But, I mean,
Like
come on.
NPCs, you can't kill the children NPCs. Like you can
It's
kill
just
the normal ones.
They should
but-
let you.
inherently
They should
funny,
let you
like
do
with the
that.
Lego characters in general, because like their limbs pop off, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. I want to
Yeah.
watch a baby Lego character like just fall apart and like be gone forever. We had a bit before we started today. Oh, by the way, we're in fucking Colorado now. We're going to the university. That I didn't realize how much that cutscene skips. We had a bit before starting today, and I'm just sitting here laughing. Tyler's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "We start a dating app for kids by kids,
Oh, God.
and no adults are allowed, no weirdos are allowed, no predators, no weirdos, and just the kids, and we let them fend for themselves." And I think we have $1 million idea on our hands, guys. I think we let the kids go for
Tell
it.
them the name.
Oh,
so do they pay for their subscription in Robux or?
no, they
Or
pay for the
V-Bucks.
subscription with their mom's credit card. It's you know, you have to be older than 10, less than 16, and we're gonna call it Kinder instead of Tinder. And also, Kinder is like the German word for kids.
Oh man, that
I'm
can't
just-
go any worse than like my high school like dating attempts. That can't go any worse than that.
Ooh,
Like,
were you
I mean,
dating
for me-
kids in
I
high
mean-
school?
Backstory.
No, yeah, no. Well, I mean, we were both the same age, so I guess we were both. I guess technically, yeah. If we were both kids, then yeah.
I guess you're.
But
I
yeah,
guess you
no,
are in high school when you're 16, huh? That does-
exactly. Yeah.
That
so,
feels
so
weird
we
to
were
say.
both. Yeah, we were both 16, and yeah, it was. You know, it was like, all right, you know, what was it like? I think I showed her my Lego collection, which is pretty much third base. That's basically third base.
Yeah,
at
for
that age.
nerds.
You're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. For nerds.
absolutely. For nerds, that's like if you show her like the Bionicle collection, that's like the holiest of holies right there.
Oh, Bionicle.
So that's the holy grail. It's like not everybody is to just come into my room and see, you know, these original, you know, it was like the OG ones, you know.
Oh,
So
God.
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah, can't go any worse than that. As you know, that went great. That was like the best.
I'm sure. It
I
did.
don't know, month and a half. That was the best month and a half. In fact, it was so good she had to quit dating in general. After
Oh.
that, she was just like, "Damn, I was too good. I was running circles around the dating
It's
game."
not you, it's me.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. Like,
Ugh.
I had more game than my Game Boy Advance SP. Like that was like, yeah.
Oh, we're rocking the SP in here, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
what
I
like
waited
to
I
hear.
waited for the SP because I couldn't go back from backlit. I had a backlit Game Gear, you know, back in the day. I still have one. But yeah, and so when the Game Boy Advance was like, yeah, this isn't backlit, I'm just like, well, I can't hardly see shit on that thing, and the worm light, it gives you a bunch of glare and AA batteries. But then they came out with the SP, and that was like the sexiest fucking thing I've ever seen that, you know, wasn't porn. And yeah, it was great.
I honestly didn't even know that the original Game Boy wasn't backlit. That's how little I know.
No, it wasn't.
It was not.
There's actually
Original color and Advance were not backlit. Nope.
yeah, there's actually two versions of the SP as well.
Yes,
So you have a
yes.
front lit one, and then you have a backlit one too.
Okay, yeah. So you know what I had was the front lit, or
Yeah.
it advertised it as such, but or backlit or something light. I don't know. I didn't know the difference, but you're 100% right because I remember seeing another one like on display at the store, and I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
these colors are so vivid compared to mine. And I had mine in my pocket, and I'm like looking at it. I just whipped the thing out, you know, like a flip phone, and I'm looking at it right next to it. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. That's like way brighter. Why didn't I get this one? So yeah.
Yeah, and
That
they're
was,
expensive
that was-
now. Like way too
Mhm.
expensive just so you can get your hands on, you know, I think it's a 101 because
Yeah.
the front lit ones I think are the 001.
I mean, you guys are way bigger nerds about this kind of thing than I am. I'm like, yeah, I have one. I play Zelda on it.
Yeah, you probably played what, Minish Cap, if I'm not mistaken.
Cap.
That was
I-
by Capcom. Yeah.
Hi, Tails. Welcome to chat.
Tails.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome, Tails.
I played
Tails
Minish
is
Cap. I
awesome.
played the Link to the Past like port.
Yeah.
And I think that's like all I had on my Game Boy. I had Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission 2, actually.
I'm surprised you didn't have Pokemon.
You guys will
No.
never guess what I had on mine.
Sonic.
Holy
Advance.
shit, are you guys psychic? How did you know? And
Uh,
Sonic Advance? Wow, you guessed the name and everything.
Is it?
I don't
did
know.
you have all three?
Yeah. I had all three of
Christ.
those, and then I had all the spin-offs too. There was like 3 or 4
Oh,
spin-offs.
like was Sonic Rush one of those, or was that DS?
That was DS.
Okay.
Yeah, but same company made it, and technically DS is 2 GBAs kind of duct taped
Yeah.
together. If you want to get technical, it's runs on the same like DNA and shit. So
And to answer your question, Tyler, I didn't start playing Pokemon until Diamond and Pearl. So yeah, I my first
Oh my
ones were on
God,
the
really?
DS. Yeah,
Holy shit.
I only played Sapphire, Leaf Green, and before that, I think after like X and Y released or something.
No.
I'm a huge poser. Yep.
I think I remember like when that like craze, like when I identified that like as a kid as a craze, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, this is I'm seeing like I think we were on like on our train or whatever from I think we were going to Arizona. It was probably from Washington or New York or whatever. We kind of took 2 trains, we went one way and went the other way.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm wandering around the train and I'm seeing these Pokemon cards everywhere, like face down. I'm like, I keep seeing these things. What is Pokemon? What is this? We get
Yeah.
off the train, whatever. My friend's like, oh yeah, look I got a whole binder full of them. Bam, slams down the holy Bible of like Pokemon and opens it up. The light of God shines, nearly fucking blinds me, and I see like all these shiny holographic cards and all these cards I never fucking seen before. That's when I'm like, oh man, this is like a big thing. Like everybody's into this, and so I liked like the visuals of the characters. I just am not an RPG guy for the most part. So like I would sit there and have fun watching them play this, but like I just couldn't really get into it. Whenever I did get around to playing it, I can do it nowadays, okay, but like it didn't like get me like everybody else did 100% outside of the designs.
Dude,
So yeah,
my gander was black and white, definitely.
black and white.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that was on the
I
DS, I believe, yeah.
Yeah,
I
those are the best Pokemon games.
as a child, like I said before, not having a lot of money, my parents bought me a Game Boy Color and Pokemon Blue at a flea market, and it went
That's
from
cool.
there. And I
Just
remember
got worse.
seeing commercials. I remember seeing commercials for Diamond and Pearl,
Mhm.
and I only had a Game Boy Color as like my only portable thing until I was like around 15, where I got into like the GBA. And
Yeah.
going from a Game Boy game to a DS game was like mind
Oh,
blowing
that is
because
It's
mind
magical,
blowing.
because
yeah.
the graphics are just out of
Oh,
it just blows it out of proportions. It
I
hits it
was
back on
amazed that
screen.
Mario 64 was on that because, like, I looked
Yeah,
at my Nintendo 64 cartridge. That thing was like a small sandwich. That thing, like, if you look at that thing, and then you look at the DS cartridge, and that thing is like a little, tiny card. It's like a
yeah.
little square thing. And I'm thinking to myself, how can they fit all this game into this with more characters, like more this, more that,
Mhm.
And I'm just like, my mind is just reeling from that. So I know what you mean by that.
It's
It's like
crazy.
that was like
I had
having
the same
polygon type games
revelation.
on a handheld was like nuts.
I had the
Yeah.
same revelation whenever they were like, "Oh yeah, the Switch is going to use cartridges," and then we saw more about Breath of the Wild and like Xenoblade 2. I'm like, how the fuck are we putting this much on this cartridge that's like smaller than an SD card?
And what
Right.
it supports up to 64 gigs, right? Like the
I'm not
official.
even sure. I'm
I
not
think
even
like
sure.
64 is like the top for the cartridge.
For which
The
yeah,
Switch.
Switch maybe. You might be right. Yeah, because I know companies have to decide, hey, if a game is this size, we need to pay this much per cartridge,
Yeah,
and yeah.
Capcom kind of
Partitions.
screwed. Capcom
Yeah,
like
they make
screwed
you
the
download
pooch.
shit. I
Yeah,
saw
with
that.
like the Mega Man Legacy Collection, you're talking about
They do
like
that with
3
Resident Evil as
gigs.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did that
no,
with Resident
they.
Evil.
Oh, come on, guys! Like,
Yeah. Oh man. They Yeah, no. So Nintendo at least they haven't had to do that yet. I don't think any Nintendo games did that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. Like first
no.
party. Yeah.
The
Knock on
only
wood. They're gonna do that next time probably.
the only first party game that I can think of that they made you like actually download was Breath of the Wild on Wii U. So I wasn't able to get a Switch whenever the Switch came out. So I
Mm,
got Breath of the Wild for the Wii U, and I had to download like 12 gigabytes in order for
I
the
see.
thing to
I had
even
that
run.
only as download, so I wouldn't know. But I do have it for the Wii U and the Switch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Autoloader.
But yeah, no, that oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, so the Pokemon games. You guys were saying, do you guys both like Pokemon games, or was it just?
Fuck yeah, that's my favorite IP.
Okay, so you guys' favorite. So I think more recently. So I know I make it sound like I haven't beat any Pokemon games ever. I have beat. I think it was Shield, and it was specifically because I wanted the Galarian Rapidash. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And God, what else? What was the other one? It was Let's Go Eevee, I believe. And that because I'm like, ooh, this looks like it has its training wheels on for like baby players like me, who wasn't allowed to, like play the games after. I think it was like after the first year or so. My mom decided they were satanic or something.
Oh, your parents were one of those people, man. My parents were
no,
just
she
like,
was.
don't
The
do
dad
crack.
was cool. The dad was cool. My mom, she meant well. God bless her. But man, it was kind of like Binding of Isaac. It's like she watches something on Christian television that says it's bad, and it's like, okay, Lord, I will burn all the Pokemon, whatever. It was nuts. There was like whole campaigns against it. You go to like Christian bookstores and you'd find like these things that look like decks of Pokemon cards, but it turns out they're like they're peddling like religion or something. Like, yeah, Mewtwo is pretty cool. You know what else is cool? Jesus. It's like,
yeah, dude, my parents were just like, don't do
It's just
crack
like-
and we'll be happy. And I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that one.
There's like that video of that one preacher guy where he's talking about Mewtwo, and he's like, Mewtwo's like posing in the Hail Satan pose or whatever.
That was real because it was a trend they were capitalizing on, right? So they were pretending like, they're like, okay, let's find a way to pretend this is sinful. I can't talk about Pokemon in church, but I can talk about how it's not like God, And it's just kind of like it's such a roundabout stretch to like capitalize on it. It's like, but there were there's a lot of churches that just didn't do that because they're like, what are you talking about? It's just a video game, like chill. But then you had those churches that were like, oh, we need to capitalize on this, quick, hurry.
Go.
Yeah. Oh no, Fortnite's popular. Quick,
Go,
let's preach against Fortnite or something. I don't know. Like that'd be. I can only imagine what it would be like for Fortnite. Like But it's kind of like that. They see a trend and then they'll just be like, oh,
That was worth it. I did not want to fight that bloater. Fuck that shit. I'm out
The,
of here.
the most like Christian game that I probably ever have played is Doom, because all I do is just slay demons and that.
Hey, yeah, Christians love slaying demons.
Yeah,
We
That
all
is
know
true.
this.
I couldn't slay any of mine. I had sleep paralysis real bad as a kid, and it's like, nope, sorry, you stuck with them.
What is that like? What is that? I don't think I've ever
cool.
had that.
It's cool.
It's cool when you're it's terrible when you're little and you think it's Satan, but like when you realize when you know what it is and it's like a phenomenon, then you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like, imagine if like you're laying there and you're awake, right, but your body is asleep. Like, how when you're kind of get that halfway in between dream state when you're not sure if you're awake or you're asleep. It's like, imagine that, but you're full on awake, right? And you can look around, but you just can't like move much of anything. And you see shit that you would normally see in a dream, but you see it sort of like copy pasted onto like real life. So you look in the corner and you see this demon and it's scary, like it looks real, but there's no way that exists, but that doesn't convince you because you're actually seeing it, right? So, and what happens is, and sometimes it's not a demon, sometimes like a familiar person, like, like a relative or a friend or whomever, but there's something off about them and it scares you. So there's this instinct in your body that triggers, like in your brain, like that's fear. And imagine it's like a setting, like on a computer or a dial that you turn up, and it just cranks it all the way to 11, and you are irrationally afraid of whatever it is, even though there's nothing to be afraid of. Because it's not hurting you. It's not, again, sometimes it could look like like a friend or a loved one or whatever. But it cranks it up in your brain, and it's like your brain is telling you, hey, you're gonna die, but you're not actually gonna die. But as a kid, you don't know that, so you're just like, you're terrified of it because that's part of like hardwiring in your human instinct to survive, right? So it's kind of like it gives you this fight or flight kind of feeling of like imagine like an adrenaline surge, but you can't move kind of thing.
That's crazy.
And so when you finally do break up from it, you feel kind of exhausted. You're just kind of like, whoa, what was that? Like your mind's racing. But like as an adult, you can be like, oh, that was annoying. Hopefully that doesn't happen again when I try to lay back down for this nap. Like you can, see some cool shit if you try to open your eyes during it. But it's like, other than that, it's like, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you know about something, when you educate yourself on something, you're better off than if you're kind of left in the dark and you think, oh God, Satan's after me. So, and then back then there was no internet to look it up, right? So it's kind of like you had to believe whatever, your parents said or whatever. So
That shit's
But
gotta be
yeah,
nightmarish, dude. I had
Brent, you
insomnia
didn't pray
whenever I
enough
was. Yeah,
last
you
night.
didn't pray enough, fucker.
I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't pray enough. I prayed for 9 minutes and 59 seconds. I didn't pass the 10-minute
Yeah,
mark.
yeah.
They
You
couldn't
didn't
stamp my prayer card. St. Peter couldn't stamp my prayer card.
didn't pass go.
It's like,
Didn't
sorry,
collect
Brent, you're gonna have a bad
$200.
time.
I
No,
had
exactly,
insomnia.
exactly.
I had insomnia really bad whenever I was a teenager. Because I had reoccurring nightmares. I had this
Mhm.
same exact nightmare where I was walking through this forest of willow trees with like this guy who didn't have a face. Like it looked like his face was sandpapered off. And on each of the
Ooh.
willow trees there was like 5 bodies hanging from nooses. And
Mhm.
and I would just like be freaked out the entire time, and I would sleep for maybe
Yeah.
2 hours at a time and then not sleep for
Oh man.
upwards of 50 hours.
So
And
is that like one of your things then, like with the faceless like people or whatever, or is that just like a random detail that you know that you remembered, or because my buddy was like really afraid of that shit, like people without faces.
I don't think it was a big phobia for me. I
Oh,
think
okay.
more than anything it was just like
Yeah.
something that happened. Like I don't have a
Yeah.
phobia of people without faces. I mean, it is creepy, but I
Because
don't know who
he
wouldn't be
he
creeped
had
out
that when
by
I was
it.
playing. Like I booted up the first Assassin's Creed. I don't know if you remember that, but like you boot up that one and there's like
Yes.
crowds of people
Yeah.
and none of them have faces. And like to some people, it's like okay, that's a little eerie. But then like to him, it's like holy shit, this is like bringing back some core memories. Like this kind of
Yeah.
shit like would fuck with me. Um, and that was yeah. That's an interesting detail there. I don't understand it myself, but you know that's
Yeah,
just
I
that's how
think more
phobias
than
work. They're
anything,
not rational.
it was like my brain wasn't wanting to like fill in the blanks where it didn't have to, and
Hmm.
it was just so focused on like trying to get sleep, but also replaying the same fucking like nightmare VHS tape, you
Oh
know.
wow.
So it's like
Yeah.
my brain's like, all right, we're gonna try to sleep now, but also there's no shot we're gonna be able to sleep here because we're just terrified.
Yeah.
So I have
That's
so
the
many
worst.
gun parts, dude. I'm just gonna run this shit down
Jealous,
mid.
got too much.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
you know what other like weird nightmare shit happened in your childhood? Mainly the stuff that made you like
Mm.
addicted to Sonic.
Wait,
Cause
you
like
said nightmare stuff that made you addicted. Wait, hold on. I didn't
yeah,
get the connection to the
yeah,
question.
yeah. Well, I
For a
mean,
moment.
you must have had a horrible childhood with how much you like Sonic. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
no,
see
oh,
any other way.
absolutely, absolutely. That blue demon was just everywhere, man. It was like Sonic.exe is actually like based on my real life, you know, and Tails doll and all that shit. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
all
yeah.
the weird
That's all
creepy
based on
pastas
me
and
right there.
stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it. Sounds like it.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Yeah, no, it was pretty yeah,
Pretty
it was
normal.
pretty terrible. You know, sometimes my save data was corrupted, sometimes my Dreamcast took forever to load, sometimes Sega
Evil.
Channel wouldn't download fast enough. It was the worst, you know. And I
Do
have to play
you?
X amount of hours of Sonic to appease, you know, our Dark Lord, so, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do
Yeah.
you love your parents?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I am a little bit I am a little bit annoyed at them sometimes, but because, you know, I'm just, you know me, I'm just a jaded old guy, but you know, I love them to death though. They're
Okay,
like
okay.
the older I get, the more I realize I'm actually like them.
Oh, that's the worst fucking feeling, man. I have that feeling all the time. I'll like say something and hear my dad, and I'll be like,
They're
man,
Yeah.
worst day of
and
my
that's why
life.
I'm like, man, I'm like, damn, like that's cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, damn, my dad was pretty cool. And I'm like, and then I think about like this one annoying thing that he does. I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't do that.
Oh
It's
my
funny.
god,
It's like
yeah.
you're inheriting like traits or something, like in an RPG or something, and you're just like, nope, I inherited this trait. Damn it.
Every
You
time I
know?
talk about music, I get worried that I sound like my dad.
Oh yeah, don't
I
worry, you'll
love
get there
music.
eventually. You'll evolve. You'll get that Pokemon evolution going, and you'll be
Uh,
mashing that button to not evolve the Pokemon. Like, no, go back, go back, go back, go back.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they're yeah, yeah, no,
What's your
legitimately though. I
current
mean, they're
vice?
really fucking cool.
What's your
Hmm?
current vice? Do you like drink, smoke weed? You know, what do you
That's a
do
good
like to
question.
take the edge
That's
off?
a good question. I think maybe indulging too many sweets actually. You know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So like that's probably like my biggest vice. So like yeah, imagine like if Oh, I don't know. If L was stupid and played Sonic instead of tried to solve detective cases, basically like that. That's who I look up to. So
You look
yeah,
up to L.
to L's addiction to sweets. Yeah,
Okay, I was about to say,
absolutely.
didn't he like kill a lot of people for like not a very good reason? Or am I thinking of
No,
the
I think
wrong
that was
guy?
you're thinking of Light. You're thinking of Light Yagi.
I've never seen it, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, L was the good guy. Light was the piece of shit manipulating everybody.
Oh, cool. So he is just like you. Got it.
Except I don't do detective work. I just sit here and play Sonic, and
Yeah. Okay.
that's about it. Yeah, play Hedgehog game. Never any
The
other games
fucking
ever.
hedgehog.
Nope, never.
Never. I don't
What
think
is
I've
your
seen you stream anything other than Sonic. So
Yeah, when it comes to streaming, it's like Sonic, Mario, pretty much it.
what is your
And then
favorite Sonic game?
gotta be
it's a good
man, either
one.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the Sega Genesis or Sonic Heroes for GameCube. Because I like those bright, pretty colors going by real fast. It kind
Yeah,
of gets me that rush.
I
But yeah, that's those two probably got to be my go-tos.
I I always loved Unleashed, but I always
Yeah.
played the worst version because I only had a PS2 to play it.
Oh, gotcha. That actually
But
kind of was the worst version, I think. Slightly lower
um,
than the Wii, technically. Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately though, I never got to beat it because my data kept on corrupting by like the end of the game.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Sonic Unleashed is the only one that I have, or the only one that I
Mm.
had as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, I'm sure Tyler knows, but like, so there's two different, very distinct versions of Sonic Unleashed. There was like the PS2 Wii
Hmm.
version, which was like the
Yes.
low whatever version, SD or whatever, instead of like HD or whatever. And then you had like the 360 PS3 version, and they were like two completely like different games, but with like the
Hmm.
same sort of direction, like
Yeah.
same story, some similar assets for like story beats, but for the most part, very truncated and very different version. It was kind of like trying to squeeze a handheld game, right? It's like trying to squeeze Call of Duty onto the
Hmm.
Game Boy. It's like, okay, you're gonna make a lot of cuts
Yeah.
here.
They did
So
that. There's some
Yeah,
Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4. I think Modern Warfare
mhm.
is on the
It's a whole
DS.
different game. Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a
I mean,
whole
it's a whole
different
different
game, but
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic Unleashed for PS2 is very weird because it's just the Wii port but downgraded for the PS2, and also it doesn't have widescreen.
Oh no, it doesn't
Doesn't?
have widescreen. Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
The Wii version
crazy.
Ouch.
does.
It
The Wii
does. Yeah.
version does, but the PS2 version is only 4:3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I actually kind of, because I'm a nerd, I knew the difference in like how to change the settings and what TV to play it on for that, and
Yeah.
video output and like component, not composite, stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But like a lot of people didn't have their Wii set up correctly anyway. So most people who probably like played the Wii probably just played it like the PS2 version anyway. With the
Yeah.
four
I,
by three.
I
So
mean, I was a kid, so
yeah.
maybe I did. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Well,
like,
PS2 didn't have a whole lot of. I don't think it had a lot of widescreen games. I think GameCube had maybe like
Just
two or
depended.
three like widescreen games, and then the rest were all just like 4:3.
Yeah.
But like was it Star Fox Adventures and F-Zero GX had widescreen
oh
for GameCube, but
yeah,
you had to like
Something
go
like
into
that.
the game menu option and actually like toggle it.
The
So
GameCube was interesting, especially because like all the original models had the what is it called, the display, the other display thing.
yeah,
I can't remember the like component
component. Yeah,
cable,
you're right. Yeah,
um
100%.
which made the picture quality better and also gave it progressive scan.
Correct. Yeah, because a lot of people like don't like know there's like progressive and interlace. So like that's why you see
Yeah.
1080p versus like say 1080i. I is like interlaced, right? So you're seeing half the picture, like
Yeah.
kind of alternate, every like second or whatever. Whereas P, it's progressive, so every single like frame is like shown like full screen. So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't get any of those weird like lines on the edges of things like that.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
later versions of the GameCube didn't even have that anymore. They took that out.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah. To make it cheaper, because like it was like, okay, well, they're losing that console or not like Dreamcast losing, but they were like the next one, like on
Not
Yeah.
Dreamcast losing, because they were losing.
Oh, they were, yeah. Like, God bless it, and it was way ahead of its time, but that was to its detriment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I still love my
insane.
Dreamcasts. I love them.
I can't believe the Dreamcast has the magnetic control sticks in it.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't believe that either.
What is it called?
I forget the name of it.
I have no clue what the hell you got.
We got
Hi,
some more
Wild
familiar
Style.
people in chat. Wild Style, welcome in, buddy.
Hall sensing sticks. I think is what it's called.
Weird.
Yeah, Hall effect.
That's what it
Okay.
was. So, you know what? I recently learned what that was called because I didn't know, because I don't crack my controllers open a lot. And I knew because I was streaming Sonic Shuffle on my Dreamcast, hardware. And some people were telling me, yeah, when you play this mini game, it's like Mario Party, but on drugs. And so they're like, hey, when you play this mini game, you got to be careful, do the control stick like this because of and I'm like, because of the what now? Like, oh, it's magnetic. Oh, yeah.
The Dreamcast controller, from what I've heard, because I've never used one, the plastic on the stick itself isn't like the best because there's no like rubber.
Correct.
But because it's a Hall stick, literally it's going to basically last forever compared to any other controller.
Yeah, all my
Because
Dreamcast controllers feel fantastic still.
Because
Yeah.
Kai, you know how like Joy-Cons drift because of like dirt and dust and whatnot gets into it, or because like it like erodes over time.
Sure, man. Whatever the fucking big liberal media wants you to believe. Yeah,
It happens with
Joy-Con
any
drift.
controller.
Sure,
It happens
man.
with any fucking controller, but like
Sure,
the
Are you saying the
Dreamcast-
5G caused the drift?
Yeah, yeah. The 5G and
Dreamcast-
Nancy Pelosi want you to believe that Joy-Con drift is real. It's not.
But
Don't listen to the liberals.
Stop mailing your Joy-Con back to Nintendo. They're not doing anything. They're just
They
looking
aren't
at it
doing.
and sending it back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, they
the Dream-
are. I've been
the
saying
Dreamcast
this.
will never have that because it's magnetic controller sticks.
That's true. Yeah. So basically, yeah, your control stick doesn't like end up feeling like shit over time. It actually still feels
That's
really good,
cool.
and I can confirm that with all of them. Like, it's just there's a very different but yet very satisfying feel to the Dreamcast control stick. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, you
Yeah.
good?
The cats are fighting. Guys, what are you doing?
Dude, I love Kibby cats.
I love my cats. But I think they're watching The Last of Us right now on stream, and they're like, "Okay, you be the clicker, and I'll be Joel. I'm the guy with the gun."
They're role playing.
They're role playing.
Good for
Good.
them, man.
Yeah, good for them. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever
Yeah,
thought
we got-
about doing a like Sonic? Not what's the word? Jesus Christ! Why can't I think of the word? Like a Wattpad Sonic story.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I've heard that term. So wait, Wattpad. Wait a minute.
Come on, Tyler, you gotta help me out here.
Wattpad.
I don't know the
Wattpad.
like a fan story, fan story.
Fan fiction.
Fan fiction. Thank you so fucking much. No problem, Wild Style. You have a wonderful time. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, buddy. Thank you, Wild Style.
Thank you.
Fan fiction. Oh boy,
Dude, yeah,
I don't really,
just do.
I don't really dip a toe into like OCs and fanfics.
I
Which is
never said it
unusual
had
for
to
Sonic
be.
fantasy.
Never said it had to be an OC.
Well, I mean, even fanfics. I mean, I can't really. Let me think. I haven't really thought of anything fiction outside of like my Lego stuff, because like you had to literally build those worlds. So I don't. You know what?
Here's what you do, right?
I don't know. I don't do a lot of story writing.
You do. Oh no. I'm not talking about you writing something.
You just read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about you going live. You say, all right, our 18 plus stream today, bitch. And then you just read the most raunchy, fucked up Sonic fanfiction you can find.
Like, I put on my Robin Wizard hat like that meme. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Robotnik, and then okay. Yeah, you know what? I thought about that because like some people have done that, but I feel like I would have to. I don't know. Nobody's probably gonna find out, but I would probably have to be like, hey, whoever made this, I'm gonna read this, and you might get hurt by my interpretation of this because I'm gonna roll with these jokes like every step of the way. Like, I'm gonna take one joke, I'm gonna take your first sentence and just run with it, and that's gonna be the whole stream. So yeah, Yeah, if it was somebody who said, "Hey, I wrote this. Do you want to like read it and like
That would go
rip
so
into
crazy.
it?"
I'm
That
telling
would be
you that's
that
a
would be
great
cool
stream. That's a great stream right
because
there.
I loved, and this is a far cry from that, but I loved when they released the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was an official game, by the way, from
Yeah,
Sega.
yeah.
And on April 1st, right? It was a legit Steam game. It was free. It was awesome because that like knew what it was doing, like from its inception to its ending to like everything in between, and it was so much fucking fun just to like read that. And even for characters you couldn't do the voices for, just rolling with it, just do the inflection the best you can, and just have a good time with it. So you know what? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It would be more like me having to, say, hey, is it cool if I like, take your story and just eviscerate it,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna have so much fun tearing into this. But
Oh,
yeah,
worst part of this fucking game, dude. I can't stand looking at his
I
stupid
love me
rebar
some-
through this.
Love me some
I'm skipping that
Sonic
shit.
fanfics.
Yeah, you love yourself some Sonic fanfiction, huh?
I do.
Jorking your
Oh.
shit, you're gooning off in your cave.
I
To
do go
Sonic
into it
fanfictions, yeah.
for-
you know what? Metal Sonic's like jet engine body just really gets my engines going too. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen the way that chrome just kind of like shines? When it hits the camera just right.
Just chromed
Like,
the fuck up.
Pour some baby oil on that Metal Sonic. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm rewatching Cyberpunk Edge Runners with Rini, and there's something really funny about hearing Tanjiro's voice actor say "fuck." It's amazing. There's just something about it. I don't know. I feel like we should let voice actors say "fuck" more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And you know,
I agree.
what's a shame is that Charles Martinet stopped being Mario before he could get Mario to say fuck.
I'm
so mad
sure
about
that guy has been trying to do that for
Yeah.
so long. If I'm
Like,
the
we
voice
barely
actor for
saw
Mario,
Mario's
I'm like,
nipples in
please.
Mario Odyssey, right? We barely saw his nipples. We're getting there. We're making progress. But we haven't
Nintendo
heard him
needs
say
to give
fuck.
Mario a gun and have him say "fuck,"
Yeah.
or they just need to full send and like have him say like a slur or something. I want to hear Mario get like real weird about like the Italians. I know he's Italian,
Ooh.
but I want to hear him get like real weird and custom with it.
He could be like racist towards like the southern Italians because they didn't consider them white, while northern Italians were considered white at one point.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah.
But yeah, I want to hear Mario get like
I
weird
played
and custom
Assassin's
with
Creed 2 and I didn't know that.
it. Dude. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm so excited for Mirage, dude. Like,
So I have to know which ones I have to know which ones you would say would be sacrilege that would like piss you off if I said they were my favorites.
okay,
Because I'm assuming they're your
Four.
least favorites, so I gotta
Four.
hear what your least favorites are.
four.
Okay.
Yeah, Black Flag
Four.
is my least favorite of all of them, and a lot of people hate that opinion. But hear me out.
It's pretty trash.
They put a sailing feature in 3, and it was half baked and garbage and shit. And then they said, what if we made a whole game where you have to play on a boat? And I'm like, I ended the like sailing missions in 3, and I'm like, wow, I hope I never have to do that again. And then they're like, hey, how about an entire game where all you do is that? And I'm like, wow, this sucks. I've put like 16 or 17 hours into that game across like 4 different saves, and I can just never get through it because it's garbage. Anyway.
So that compels me to ask a question. So you said you like Zelda. How do you feel about Wind Waker?
Love it.
Okay, so what would you take out of Wind Waker and put in a game like Assassin's Creed Black Flag to make it palatable?
First off, okay, so we actually talked about this, I think the last time that we did The Last of Us, where I was just like, I don't think that you can compare certain things or contrast certain things because I think I'm a little autistic when it comes to stuff like that. So I find this question really difficult because Wind Waker is like a cartoony thing where all the action takes place off a boat and the boat is just transportation, like for the most part. There are a few parts where you have to shoot like the cannon. Whereas Black Flag is supposed to be like semi-realistic and like you're supposed to have like cool naval combat. So here's my idea. If we're gonna take something from Wind Waker and put it into Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I just want the King of Red Lions in there. I don't care how it fits.
If your boat talked to you, you would like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah. No. Sorry. No. Let me reiterate. I don't want my boat to talk to me. I just want the cartoony King of Red Lions and his dialogue to be in Assassin's Creed. I don't want them to take the idea of the King of Red Lions. I mean, copy paste. Put that guy in there.
Okay.
It's like that one Onion article that's like Xbox decides to just publish a Mario game and see what happens. I want Ubisoft
articles.
Yeah, I just want Ubisoft to put a Zelda game inside of their Assassin's Creed game and just see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah, that's funny. So that's kind of what I was wondering too. Is like, okay, so you like a game where you sail on a boat from island to island, and then you have the occasional combat from the boat. Again, in Zelda, it was like more in terms of an event, not like a routine thing, but then like in Assassin's Creed, your expectations were more realistic. So, maybe if you had less realistic expectations of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then you might have liked the idea better, maybe?
I think more than anything,
cool,
the controls are just really clunky, in my opinion, in Black Flag. So So I was just meh. And the same gripe occurs with Odyssey. I was just like, I don't want to play this. It's so clunky and weird. Don't notice.
I got used to the ship combat or whatever in that, but it was something you had to. It was like a jank that you had to learn and work around. It wasn't like very intuitive. So what I let me think here. So the one I feel like I was burned by the most with Assassin's Creed was probably 3, because I wanted to love 3. I really wanted to love 3 when it came out, and I love it conceptually. I love all these things about 3, but it's just playing 3 that pisses me off every time. And I think it's because I can't really like figure out where the glitches are and how to avoid them. Like I can't be like Sonic 06 and learn, okay, this kills you if you do this, don't do this. I feel like random things just happen just because, and I think it's like, I don't know what they did. There's some bugs in that game that are just the weirdest shit, and everyone I talk to has like different experiences with other random bugs.
No, you're so right. You're so right.
And so like, again, I want to love it. Conceptually, it's got a lot of really good things about it, but that's just one thing that I'm just like, you know what? Like I can't, even after like the remaster and stuff like that. I'm like, I'll beat the game once, and then I can't touch it again after that.
I was so worried you were gonna say Syndicate, because everybody likes to shit on that game. Thank God, that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
That one's amazing.
And it's almost entirely, and I'm gonna be honest here, it's almost entirely because it's set in Victorian London, and the like steampunk aesthetic is my favorite. God damn it, bro! Oh, I hate this part.
I played through only 2 of the Assassin's Creed games, 3 and 4, and I love 3 because I only had a Wii U at the time, so that was the only system that I could play those games on. And then playing through 4, that just like killed my vibe for Assassin's Creed and could never get back into it.
Yeah, dude, it's just 4 is so mid, and then people are like, it's the best one, and I'm like, I hope your entire family explodes. Get him. We got him.
No, so I think anyone who said they liked it, like when it was new, was like, I like it for just being a pirate game. I don't even think of it like an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, if you think of it like a pirate game, sure, it's like fine. Yeah, the way you like 3 conceptually, I like 4 conceptually. But it's just like I don't want.
It doesn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game because he's not even like he doesn't start off as one. They never do. But like he doesn't start off as one, and then he just the whole time he's just kind of like thrust into it, but still not ever really a part of it. But he's got like a foot in the door, and they kind of accept him as one of their own. But even though he's not,
Actually, they start as assassins in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Actually,
that's true. Actually, you're right. Yeah, Evie and Jacob Fry definitely start off in that as assassins. Yeah,
I love those guys.
I love that game. Also, I love that they took like the whole like Arkham Knight kind of approach with the whole grapple thing. That was really cool. Or Arkham Asylum or whatever.
Yes.
Again, like I'm all for like video games kind of like taking inspiration from things, and sort of like because it gives them a chance to improve it instead of it becoming stagnant in one franchise and saying like, oh well, this is the way it's going to be, and tough, Um, so yeah, that one was great. I love a lot of them actually. And I love them all for like different reasons. And
Yeah,
I think one
definitely.
that's been annoying me lately, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad game, but thing that's been annoying me was Valhalla, because I suck at puzzles, and I feel like I had to look up a YouTube video for like maybe like every main storyline to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And when I find the solution, I'm not like, oh, that's clever. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
No, you're
you
so
have to
right.
stand on this
Yeah.
specific thing to look through this window to see this lock for like 1 pixel of this lock to like shoot the lock to open the door from the other side to, you know, um, because that's like the thing is like I want to say the formula of like the open world gameplay of like was it Origins,
Yeah.
Odyssey, and Valhalla, that they all follow, where you like you can scout ahead with the eagle, but you can to kind of figure out where the entrances are, to figure out where the loot is, to kind of plan to kind of make a plan of attack, like an
Mhm.
assassin does. That was like one of the core things of the original game, was you plan your attack, like when is your target going to be, how are you going to strike, but it lets you do that in a gameplay element sort of way.
Yeah.
And then it took the whole notes from like Breath of the Wild, where hey, you can literally climb on anything, go nuts, and you could climb just about every object or surface in those games. So it's like it's
It was
cool, like
pretty tight.
it's a lot more
Yeah.
liberating, even though there's some little things in it that I don't like here and there. It's I've been playing that again because Mirage was coming out, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, I got to familiarize myself with these controls,
Fuck.
So
Oh, god
oh,
damn. I hate
That was
this
a
that was
part.
good
close.
I hate
That was
this
close.
part. I'm really excited for Mirage, dude. It's gonna be so good. At least I'm
Oh yeah.
hoping. I've been saying that for
Oh
the
yeah.
last like 3 times the game's come
Oh
out,
yeah.
because the Assassin's Creed franchise
So
is fucking shit and garbage too. So like,
I can't quit it. It's like it's probably the thing I like almost as much as Sonic is like Assassin's Creed. And I can't quit it. Like they could release a piece of poop like tomorrow that has the Assassin's Creed logo on it, and I'm like, fuck, I'm buying this.
yeah, dude.
So
As
with
someone who has
Pokemon.
bought and played just about every single Assassin's Creed game, it's
yeah,
just like I feel like I have every right.
yeah.
I
And
have
you know
every
what?
right to say how fucking garbage those games are.
Absolutely.
Yet,
And you know what? That's a
Literally
good
agree
point.
with
I was about to do those as well. That is right. This guy here in chat. There we go. Boom. That's the guy. That is the guy who's going to be voicing. Was it very young? What was his name? But Basim, I believe it was.
yeah, Basim.
Yeah, that guy. He's going to be like the protagonist for this one. And I don't know if they're going to like have another like one that you could play as like kind of like as like a switch between, because you know how like certain Assassin's Creed games have you kind of like switch between characters now and again for like story
Yeah,
related beats, like
I think it's just
so
Basim, but I
okay,
could
cool,
be
cool, cool.
wrong.
So definitely yeah, so Agent Stone from the Sonic movies, that's the guy right there.
From the
That's, in case
Sonic
you're wondering,
movies.
that's the guy right there.
I know who you're
So
talking about. Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah.
yep. Yeah, so he stopped streaming on Twitch, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? He must have found a gig or something. Because we raided him a couple of times. So
Well, that's
shut
cool.
up, we're not talking to you. Sorry, Google was
Oh
answering me.
no, I'm always
Google's
talking to Google. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Google sometimes like apologizes, like I'm sorry. But yeah, no. So yeah, he's
Get
he's
this
gonna be the
guy
voice,
off
and I
me.
think like man, it's a small world. Everything comes back to Sonic in the end, Like
I
Ezio was
I don't
the
know
current
about
voice
that.
actor for Sonic, Like
Was
he's
he?
that's yeah, Roger Craig Smith.
Oh
He's still the current
yeah.
voice of Sonic. And what's funny is, was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out the same day as Sonic Colors, and I'm like, yeah, I'm picking up 2 Roger Craig Smith games today.
That's
Um,
crazy, dude.
yeah, and and it's funny. That's why during the Ask Sonic whatever panel they had, he voiced Ezio. Like he did Ezio's voice, looking at the cow. He's like, what are these glowing gemstones or something, And he was talking, and Eggman had him, and there's like the Chaos Emeralds, and
That's so
it was a whole
cool.
bit. So hearing Ezio acknowledge the Chaos Emeralds was like, yes, my fandoms are crossing over.
I
It just
love
feels so
that.
good. So
Nah, I mean, I
yeah.
grew up on Assassin's Creed, and so it's like, I remember I was probably 11 or so, I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 whenever I got my 3DS. I wanted the 3DS so bad. I was like, Mom, Dad, I want it so bad. And then like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed 2, and my dad comes in the living room, starts talking to me about my grades, and he's like, you know, you're doing good, man. I'm proud of you. And then like my mom gets home, and he's like, oh, cool, we have a gift for you. And I'm like starting to play Assassin's Creed 2, and it's my 3DS. I loved my my little shitty blue 3DS that I had.
I had the ambassador one. I had the.
Yeah,
I think I
me
chose
too.
the black and gray one, but I had the one that was like way too much money. It was like $250, I think.
Yeah.
Nintendo like, here you go. Here's a bunch of free games. I'm like, thanks.
Yep.
We'll just have emulators in a few years, but okay, thanks.
That's exactly what I got. Yeah.
But yeah.
Got it before that.
But yeah, I was gonna
ridiculous
say Assassin's Creed
price drop.
2. I'll never forget the Assassin's Creed 2. Like I had like my roommate was there, and like one of my buddies came over from work, right? And we're all sitting down on the PS3 playing it for the first time. And when Ezio's uncle's like, "It's a me, Mario," it was we died laughing so hard. Like it was
like,
the funniest thing.
Yes,
We
it
were
is
like,
you,
yes.
Mario.
Like
We're back.
they're yeah, exactly.
Oh, Tyler,
was
I gotta
great.
get you to play those fucking games.
You can play them on stream. I watch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe. I find those games so hard to replay. I don't know what it is. They're like
Some of them I
really
find easy,
good.
some of them I don't.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't play through it.
Those games are really fun to play the first time, and then after that, it's just like, I don't know.
I think you have more of a chance.
I like
of
replaying some of
through
them.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also the guy that's played Pikmin 3 like 7 different times this year, so
Yeah, within a couple months.
I'm
Well, yeah.
a Pikmin guy.
within a few months. I love Pikmin, man. That's my other big thing right now.
It's really good. Though.
My big things
So how would
are
you
like,
how would you sell somebody on Pikmin who's not like super into it? You know, like someone who's like played it, but it's just like, you know, hey, like this is the greatest thing ever. You need this in your life.
Did you ever want to own slaves?
do you ever want to own people and make them work?
It's a bunch of little flowery dudes just like running around, you know, with the little things on top of the heads, and
It's like my
like,
little
hey, you guys are gonna
indentured
be
servants.
I don't know anything about it, so I'm just gonna like kind of ad lib here. But like, you're just gonna, you know, fuse your bodies together and become this bridge for me, and then like lift this thing, and then it's
Well-
gonna topple over and kill this other thing.
I mean, kinda. Sure.
Okay, cool.
I have
All right.
I have
Just,
some
again, I'm the outsider here, so I'm just sort of like telling you my perspective, and I'm just like, all right.
I have
That's-
some
that's
YouTube
bye-bye,
shorts
yeah.
that are really funny about the in my opinion, they're mine. About like the politics and humanities of having Pikmin as slaves. It's like, are Pikmin kids because they were just born yesterday, and is that chill? Is it cool to have Pikmin as slaves? Yes or no? And,
That's like those things, the logic in video games I get. Like that's my internal conflict with God, what was it? Every time I play Monster Hunter, like I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Like so many people get into Monster Hunter, and I can't because I love the dinosaur looking things, the dragons. I think they're cool looking, and I'm like, I don't want to kill them. And the tutorial's like, okay, now go to its nest and smash all the eggs. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And then you go and do it, and it's like, good job. And it's like, why are you encouraging me to do these heinous things?
why are you encouraging this?
I tried playing through Monster Hunter like 3 Ultimate, and like they have like the mom dinosaur with its baby, and it's like, oh, you need to kill the baby and the mom, and I just couldn't.
No. That's what I'm saying. I face this moral dilemma, and Pokemon, I can kind of like, I tell myself, okay, they're not really dead. They didn't really pass out from like, you know, anything. Whatever, they're fine. They just lost their hit points and they go back in the ball. But when I really think about Pokemon, it really like it gets more fucked up the more I think about it, and I'm just like, oh geez. Like,
Nah,
I really
I'm
have
not
to
scared.
Pokemon.
I'm not scared to look death in the eye. I'll kill the mom dinosaur and her babies.
Nah, I couldn't.
They didn't sign up for my new dating app, 4Kids by Kids. Kinder. Download now.
Well, that's got to be like 4Kids Entertainment's like thing once they like go out of business. Like they're probably out of business. I don't know if they are or not.
That
You know,
line
people that
just
like
saved
dub, like
my
you know,
ass.
do those like terrible dubs and stuff.
Yes.
And,
They sung the Star Spangled Banner with all the characters.
yeah,
They
they did.
did?
Old Japanese, yeah.
They did.
Awesome.
They did. Well, I mean,
actually,
technically,
I
some of them
think
actually place in what, New York or something, like Turtles, I think, and then
actually I think I
Sonic is
remember
like
you
its own
sending me
world.
that, Tyler.
Well, Sonic X was a Japanese anime kind of thing, and then they had like the other anime shows on there, like
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, so I mean, the animation studio did it and that, but like the setting for Sonic X, like the locations and stuff,
Yeah,
are all like United States based stuff. Like
yeah.
here's the president. They don't outright say it, but it's very like it looks like that. Like they're in California. You know, we got the thing, we got the gun
Oh, yeah,
truck thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you know, all the settings and locations and stuff. I mean, there are some Japanese locations type things like in the universe, but like a lot of that's very
Get off me, bitch.
yeah.
There we go, dude. This part
I always
is
hated
so
this part.
fucking stressful.
It is.
Anyway, there should be a bloater any second, which is not fun. Die. Did you know if you shoot these guys while they're falling, they just instantly die? I missed, of course, but no, that's a real thing.
I
Fuck, they
actually
got-
don't think I've gotten that far.
They got both of us. Don't worry, David. Don't worry, David. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Ooh.
I break free, I get David free, and then I get bit by a clicker. Of course, of course. Brent, I'm gonna ask you this question. You don't have to answer it, but I do think it would be funny. How
Go for it.
how big's your cock? You gotta tell us.
That's a good question, man.
You gotta
That is a
tell
good
us now.
question.
Tell
I
me now.
actually don't. I don't even know. But you know what? You know
Measure.
what?
Measure.
You know from I don't know. I don't know if they just say this to every guy, but you know anyone who's anyone I've been with was like, yeah, you know that's that's way better than whatever. So I don't know if that's like a consolation or if that's just them saying yeah that's a cut above the rest. So that's
A cut above the so
yeah.
cut.
Oh yes,
Basically
cut.
more than
Yes,
average, right?
indeed. Yes,
Cut
definitely
above
cut.
average? Hey man, we're doing good. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Packing,
Drudel
dude.
just told us that
Packing.
he had to ask his brother. So I was like, okay, cool.
Just-
I was like, all right. And he was like, I had to ask my brother, if we got our dicks from our mom. And I was like, that is a crazy sentence. But sure, man.
Oh well. What do they say in Clerks too? Like small clit's a big dick or something like that.
Whoa.
that's what they
yeah.
say?
Or
because he
or a
has
small
Oh,
dick
he's
is
got to
a
ask.
big
So
dick.
they're gonna.
he has a different dad from his
Okay,
brother.
okay.
So
Yeah, he has a different parent.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, David, fuck you. You're gonna have to handle that shit on your own, baby. Handle that shit, because I am not gonna handle it for you. What's that one song? Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can.
I know what you're talking about. I
know
can't
what
think
you're
of the
talking
name.
about. Yeah,
Feel the rain
no.
on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can. Come on.
So that's one
Reload
thing I
the
always
gun,
wondered too.
Ellie. There we go.
No one else
Got
can
him.
feel it for you. So, like when they say they had like statistics, right? Because I've talked about this like with my roommate, as you do back when you're just a couple of guys hanging out. It's like okay, no one's. We think that all the guys are lying for that statistic. They all just. I think what did they say the average was like 6.5 or something,
Like
and they're
5.
like yeah. So
5.
that's the thing.
I think.
That's the thing. Is like they think guys are just like standing there, just kind of like they'll say it's this much, when really it was like this much. So I wonder if the people at the analytics group like kind of like take that into account and just automatically knock off like a quarter or a half an inch or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of counter that for accuracy's sake.
They're like, all right,
this
you
guy
said
has
5.
this guy has a really big ego. This guy has really low self-esteem. We'll add an extra inch to this guy's cock. But we're gonna take off a quarter inch for this jock guy because like there's no way his dick is this big. Like
You think
I don't know.
you think the cock
like-
committee is cooking the books? Is that what we're saying?
Oh,
here?
I think they are. I think the cock committee is absolutely cooking the books.
I agree with you. I have to agree with you on this one,
All
actually.
I'm saying is, don't tell Kai your actual length because he will ask you for pics nonstop.
Not nonstop. It happened once. It happened once. I'm
It
not-
wasn't just once.
I need
It
to
was-
confirm.
it was- it
He's
was
just like,
not
I need to
just
confirm.
I
once.
need to confirm. Oh my god.
Because as soon as I told him mine, he was like, you have to show me.
You gotta show me.
Like right after a
I
stream.
have to know if this is normal.
Because he asked me during a session, and he was like, how
Yeah.
big is it? And I told him, and he was like, you
I'm
have
the
to show
cock.
me now.
I'm the cock guy. What about it?
He's like
told him
Shadow the Hedgecock. He's like, please, doctor, I need to know. Is my penis size average? He's like, I will never tell you, Shadow. I created you, so yes.
I hate that you have such good
Magician's
impressions
code, I
about
can't
these
tell you.
guys.
Like he's just
Yeah,
like,
you have great impressions of these guys because that's all you fucking do is play Sonic. play Zelda. Get a good Link yelling impersonation.
I would get a good Link yelling impersonation, but I have to have my wife come in here and like kick me in the balls.
How is she?
Yeah.
How is she? Is she okay?
Actually, she's doing good. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Of course. I have that on my little list here.
Yes,
I'm like, make sure
yeah.
Brent's wife is okay.
Yeah. Some person came, ran a red light, ran right into her, and that was. But you know what? She made it out without any broken bones. Knock on wood. So
That's awesome.
It's been good. So
Really
a lot of people don't walk away from T-boning. So
Is she Mrs. Zone or Miss Brent?
that's a good question. It depends on. You know what? It depends on which room she's in. If she comes into like my little gamer space here, she's Mrs. Zone. But yeah, but according to our nieces, I think they're like, Brent's wife, even though it's like, hey, like she has a name and you knew it before Brent came into the picture here and then you forgot, you little shits. But yeah,
kids
that's what
ruin everything.
That's Brent's wife.
Which is why we have to get them all girl and boyfriends sign up now for the new kid dating app. Sponsored by Kinder.
Oh, man.
Guys, okay, no, this is a good idea. Trust me.
This is not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. It's like
it's just like FBI, open up.
Yeah. Oh my
repelling
god.
down there. Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Wait. Who would come fast? Who would come to your house faster if you like secretly had that as like a Nintendo emulator app, right? Like would Nintendo show up to your door first, or would like the FBI show up to your door first?
I think Nintendo's fucking Pinkertons show up first. Honestly,
has to be Nintendo Ninjas, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Dude, they wouldn't even have to like battering ram the door over. They'd pull Reggie out of like semi-retirement, whatever the fuck, and just like have him walk through the fucking door. Like
exactly.
he'd just walk through it. He wouldn't even like have to like barge it down.
Hey,
and he'd be like, what's wrong with you?
His body is ready.
I was sitting here playing Animal Crossing New Leaf for my Nintendo 3DS family system.
The Nintendo 3DS system. Fuck, dude, no. Die. No, get off of me. I'm just a kid. Chomp. Sign up for Kinder.
Kid, have you ever...
Whoa. Speaking of kid, have you ever what?
Speaking of kid, have you ever heard of our new dating site? Kinder.
Just keep rolling with it, dude. We can't have another fucking parked out by the lake.
Oh my god. Or Predator moment.
Predator. Oh my god.
Man.
Yeah, Predator bit.
Yeah, we have this bit that's just like, this guy's a little weird. He's a little bit of a predator. And Tyler just keeps on saying it because he thinks anybody who likes...
He is funny.
He thinks anyone who likes Sonic is a little bit weird. A little bit of a...
I never said that. That's coming
I
off.
don't know, man.
You never know though. You never know. I mean,
because I would be talking about myself because I like Sonic.
I doubt that.
So,
there you go. You got to come with all the negative connotations of the fandom. Like if you like Sonic, if you like, trying to think like what the other ones that were like really toxic. I think that's like everybody. I know like there was like a bunch of bronies out there that were toxic for a while, and then there was the Assassin's Creed shit starts getting real toxic. I don't know why, especially like on like I know on Insta they get real toxic. I don't know about Twitter. They're probably toxic also.
I don't even participate with talking to Assassin's Creed fans online.
They're so bad over
evil.
there. That's why I don't talk to them. I'm just like, I'm not going to talk to other people that like this. I'm just going to stay over
here.
here.
Exactly.
That's why like I don't even
my
like
little corner, man.
Especially on the internet, I'm not gonna like. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna be like, hi, I'm Brent. I like Sonic games. They're gonna be like, oh shit, this guy's gonna like crucify me for my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
man.
that's what would fucking happen back in the day. Like you get people like fucking running around, putting up what do you call them? Like flyers saying don't buy Sonic 06 because it has 4 kids voice actors or something, and shit
Does
like
it?
that. Like if you Google that shit, you'd see it does. That's one of the first games, not the very first one that had those people.
Oh, that's crazy.
Uh, and
What's
it
wrong
was
with
yeah.
4 kids? I don't
Well,
know about
nothing.
this.
That's the thing. That's the thing because the adults don't like the voice acting that the voice actors do for the kids dub of the animation. Like it's literally in the name. It's for kids. It's not for adults. Like get over it. But
Yeah.
they couldn't get over it, so they act like they had like a personal like vendetta against them or something, right? And that's kind of like where that
Oh
a lot of that
shit. Hold
toxicity
on.
was,
Juno.
It's-
Juno got stuck on my
Sonic
fucking
X was so
thing.
good. Like I
I love
remember
Sonic
watching
X.
that. I remember watching that as a kid. Like I think it was Saturday
There you
morning.
go.
hmm
God,
So
like that was
I don't
one of
know
the
like
best
how much
shows.
nostalgia you have for it, but if you ever go back to it, have you ever watched it in Japanese?
No.
Okay, so if as an adult, if you ever go back to it, just do yourself a favor. Not because like one is necessarily better than the other, they're both same-ish. But like if you watch it in Japanese, it's so much fun. They've got like fun, like really good music. They even have some like video game music in there. They've
Mhm.
got like a lot of stuff like contextually sort of makes a little more sense. And again, as a kid, you don't think about a lot of those things. Like you don't
Yeah.
think, oh, this character is drunk. You think, oh, he's just really
Yeah.
tired. It's
It's
just funny little things, and you'll
yeah.
appreciate it as an adult. I think a little bit more.
It kind of
Um,
reminds me of the Pokemon anime, specifically Indigo
yeah,
League, where Brock calls the rice rolls or whatever rice cakes calls them donuts.
jelly donuts. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
classic. Yeah, it's like little things like that. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, this version is superior. But yeah, I enjoyed it a little more, but not for the reasons I thought I would, and not because I'm like being a purist, but just because like, hey,
Yeah.
I watched both of them like as they came out, and I was like, you know what, I kind of like
Mhm.
this one, just a little bit more, just because like of, like the way it made me feel, like the music, and it's got those anime tropes, like it's got like different outros and things that you don't
Yeah.
see in the other one, and it's got more music than just the dun 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 dun, like the whole time. It's got like all these different moods. It's great. The whole show is like a vibe that just is conveyed a little bit differently, and there's certain like moments in it too, that are uncensored, and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize this was even censored, because you watched it when you were a kid, and you
Yeah.
they did an okay job at censoring it, so it was like it's neat.
Do you watch a lot
So
of anime, or
no, I
just?
don't. I don't. No. My hair just looks like it comes from it, but I don't actually watch
That's
it.
totally fair.
Um, yeah. It's I do have a few anime that I really enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and then God, like I just randomly like stayed up late the other night watching some Death Note just for the hell of it, because like I enjoyed watching that, but I've watched it like several times.
Hmm.
Okay.
So to me, it's kind of like a little movie. I loved Code Geass. There's Full Metal Alchemist, the original, and Brotherhood. I liked both of those. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of random anime that I'll watch. That's like usually like the real
Yeah.
popular shit. I don't watch any like, I rarely watch any niche shit. Growing up as a kid, they had like these Christian anime, and I was like, oh boy.
That was a
Um,
thing.
and that was a thing. It was was it Tatsunoko or whoever it was? I forget.
That's
It's like
crazy.
a famous, yeah, it's like a famous like whatever production studio thing. So it wasn't bad quality. It was just like the theming was just kind of like, okay, like how are they going to shoehorn this into that? And
Yeah. Yeah.
some of it was okay, some of it wasn't good. But yeah, like they can't all be winners like Veggie Tales, but
Like Veggie Tales. I love it how that's your
VeggieTales.
go-to. Yeah, Veggie
Veggie
Tales is
Tales is like
super
peak.
Christian. Yeah.
It's peak. It's like peak Christian show like stuff. Like the comedy aged really well. It even had some like Simpsons moments where it like predicted the future of like comedy and internet culture before that even got big or became a thing. Like all sorts of like funny shit, and like stuff that just goes so hard that it's like spit take. Like, wait, did they really just say that in a kids show? Like, but it's not like
Fuck.
it's not like adult stuff, but it's stuff that's like, yeah, this is real. Like, it's kind of poking fun at like, yeah, this was the thing that happened in the Bible, and we translated that to a kid's, story. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, like with some of the more fucked up themes in the Bible, like it actually takes those and makes it into like a palatable kids show with like talking vegetables and shit. So
I never
it's
really
great.
watched VeggieTales. I think VeggieTales might have been just a little bit too early for me, honestly.
It was because it came out in like the it was early 90s, and it progressed from there, both like visually and in popularity and stuff. It was really popular among like Christian groups, and that's kind of like the biggest religion in the United States, right? So it was a
Yeah.
win-win for them. They were like running circles around everything else because there was like virtually no competition. And Yeah, so I mean, I think nowadays it's got like different shows like that, like Netflix like funded and stuff, but it's like way different. It's not bad, but it's like not the same humor like at all. Like it doesn't have that wit to it.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you see a lot of VeggieTales like memes and stuff. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
it's yeah,
mean,
like it predicted memes too. Like it's just like holy shit.
I didn't
These guys
really
were
watch a
prophets.
lot growing up just in general. I think my go-to show like in my early teenage years, which this is fucked up, but it was
Mm.
probably Breaking Bad.
Nice.
I watched through Breaking Bad like probably 5 or 6 times by the time I was 17,
That's cool.
which is
That's awesome.
nuts. I love that show to death.
Yeah,
Uh
I'm glad that's becoming like memes too. Like it's always
oh
relevant.
yeah. Oh yeah. And Breaking Bad is genuinely one of those shows where it's like if you haven't seen it yet, what the fuck are you doing? Like
Mhm.
it's such a cultural like touchstone to have seen Breaking Bad.
Mhm.
It you just have to see it at this point. It's like saying that you haven't seen like any like Dragon Ball or fucking
Right.
Walking Dead. It's like you
Yep.
just gotta.
It's just part of the culture. Like everyone's expected to have seen it, like Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, it's like you're expected to have seen at least some of it. Like, yeah. So what's funny, like was like you're saying, like watching that stuff at a young age. Like what was it? It was funny how like my mom's stuff would like backfire sometimes. So she'd be like, "Oh well, you can't watch these cartoons, right?" And there was nothing wrong with them. They were just like Cartoon Network, all these other things. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so I would only get to watch those when I would like hang out with friends and stuff, right? For the most part. Or maybe if she wasn't home, I could, whatever. But the funny thing was, is like, okay, late at night was like the only time I had when none of the adults were awake, so I could watch stuff that was on TV. But guess what's on Cartoon Network late at night?
Adult
Adult
Swim.
Swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the whole like attempting the censorship backfired there, and I just watched a bunch of that stuff like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken,
Yes, dude. Aqua Teen is
Metalocalypse,
so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One,
I love that.
one,
Love that show so
one
much.
one of my most like memorable memories as like a child into my teenage years, having like a CRT. This is even before like flat screens became like affordable or more common in
Mm.
households, was watching Cartoon Network and like watching like it shift from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, and then King of the Hills theme song coming on.
Oh, was that the
Like,
transition then for them? Was the King of the Hill? Is that when it would?
yeah, that was like the
Mm.
first show that would always come
King of
on.
the Hill was a huge
Ah,
rerun when we were younger, definitely.
Yeah,
Like
because like I
it was
remember,
on every night. King of the
because
Hill, South Park.
yeah,
Those
because
those
like
were the big
the
reruns.
the
Yeah.
transition would be like Cartoon Network would be like goodbye, and then like the sun would go down, and then like black screen, and then King of the Hill would come on.
oh, that's cool. I mean, that's another Mike Judge classic. Same guy that did like Beavis and
Yeah.
Butthead and all that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think my wife was watching Daria the other day. That was cool too. Um, but yeah, man, what was I gonna say about the man? It just slipped my mind. Sorry. Don't get old, guys.
No,
But
you're
yeah,
fine.
King of the Hill. That was yeah, that was where it was at. There was like what was it? Another fucked up show. It was I don't know if it ever. I think it was like a web series specifically. I don't know if it ever aired on TV. I doubt it did because I don't know. I don't think it would pass any censorship things. Was Happy Tree Friends? Like that was really fucked up.
Oh, that's on
Dude,
Netflix. That's on
yes.
Netflix. Yeah.
It's on
Yeah.
Netflix now, yeah. And that was like again, you would just go online to like watch it or whatever at the time. Before it was like, and
Oh,
So
it
good.
was
It's so
I
funny.
love that. I love that show. It's like my mom's
yeah.
favorite show.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's one of those shows where like I'm watching it and I'm laughing at it. I'm like, wow, I'm kind of fucked up. Like I love it, but it's just like, yeah, yeah. Happy Tree Friends
Okay.
is one of those things I
Love.
think that like everybody I talk to is just kind of like, yeah, I liked that show, and like if you tell somebody about it, they'll be like, what's wrong with you? But if like they watch it, it's just kind of like either you get
Yeah.
it or you just can't
Yeah.
stomach it.
Yeah.
You know.
My favorite cartoon growing up was Adventure Time, and
Okay.
Oh yeah.
those are definitely see Adventure Time and like Steven Universe and the Amazing World of Gumball were in this like real sweet spot for people mine and Tyler's age around our early 20s, where it's like they were just childlike enough when they were first coming out to keep us interested as kids.
Yeah.
And then they got just mature enough as we became, young adults and teenagers, to.
Oh, you guys were in the sweet spot for that then, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
totally.
you were.
It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I liked it because I mean, my buddy was like, hey, there's this cool show. I don't know what it's called, but we looked it up and it's like, oh, it's called Adventure Time, and
Yeah.
we never looked back. Because
So
regular
good.
show was kind of the same for me as well. There,
Vincent's
Regular
gonna
show
be
was
pissed.
really good. My favorite Cartoon Network show had to be Chowder. I don't know.
Chowder
if
was
you
so
watched that.
goated.
yeah.
I'm so
That was
sad they only
another
got like
one.
one season though.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
I'm bad with watching TV shows, so unless I like sat down and watched it with my buddy, like I didn't, like if it was like Flapjack or I think the only one
Flapjack,
I would
too.
watch by myself was like SpongeBob, but that's the only one I could really like watch by myself. But all the other ones, it was like if I wasn't watching with somebody, it was just kind of like I don't have anyone to laugh at this with or laugh with this at, so it's just kind of like all right.
Yeah, man. I watched Steven Universe like 2020, I think, with my ex, and I felt like I missed out on so much. That show was so good. We like binged it in like a week and a half. Just what a
Nice.
fucking
So good.
goated ass show.
It's really good.
It really
Yeah.
is.
I like it for like first of all, like the superficial reasons are kind of what lured me into it, and then as I was lured into it, I was like, damn, this is good. Like the music is
Yeah.
so atmospheric, but then it goes like upbeat to like a song or whatever, and then it's like you see video game consoles, like throughout the whole series, right, in such accurate fucking detail, it's insane. Like down to like the ports on the back of the system, and it's like the show like does such a great job at like describing how people have chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of spoke to me because like I feel it's weird. I almost feel like a different person with every person I talk to in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
and I think that's because of chemistry, and that's why they call it that. It's like different reactions, it's chemical reactions. Now they're not literally mixing, but you are having like exchange between them. So you
I like
become
that
someone different
outlook
with
on it.
everything that you are. And that's what Steven Universe visualized for me was like each person, like, when the gems would kind of come together and they would do, I forget what they called it.
the
They'd fuse or
fusion.
whatever. Fusion, that's what it was. So it's like that was kind of like, a big relationship, whatever, like whether it be love, whether it be friendship. In some cases, it was an abusive relationship that they were in. And it was
Yeah.
like, and they felt they had no will, in that relationship or no say, and they would become this monster, and it's like it was so cool how it portrayed that and how it showed that it dealt with like heavy shit, like, hey, I didn't ask for this life, I didn't ask to be whatever born, I didn't whatever. And it was cool because it would deal with it in such like a real way, like it would accept that that's how things are. But you would see them kind of like overcome that in their own way. That wasn't like someone could just hand it to them. They'd help them, they would guide them, but like nothing was ever like they had to work for that shit. And it was cool like to see like how they came out on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And it's very inspirational shit. I love that show.
And Adventure Time did the same kind of thing where it was just like, except for not as much intrapersonal like retrospection. It was more like, how do we exist in the world around us more than anything, and just
It
taking
gave such a whimsical take on like a fucked up future or whatever they were in. Like
yeah.
it was cool.
It was like a
And it's what's funny is you don't realize it at
waste.
first either. Like
Yeah.
you just get roped into this cartoon that looks all
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky, and then
Like towards the end of Adventure Time, like it even like kind of shows you like how to deal with your problems, especially with like death, because
Mm-hmm.
you know I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the
No.
characters do die at the end, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it really just kind of teaches you kind of how to like deal with that and
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
guys
just like
watched this? I don't go for it.
it's just like what I was saying, you know, trying to teach you how to. God damn it, dude! I keep getting grabbed by this motherfucker, and he keeps choking me out. It kind of teaches you how to like perceive yourself within the world itself,
Mm-hmm.
instead of perceiving yourself through the eyes of another person, like something that Steven Universe does. And it's not
Right.
to say either one is better or worse than the other. It's more like just saying that they're different. They offer different perspectives on the same kind of existentialism that you can only
Yeah.
kind of achieve through a game or through a show like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Have you guys seen Distant Lands? Like the
I've seen
spinoff of
part of
Adventure
it.
Time?
Come on,
No.
fucking stab him. There we go.
Oh.
I've seen
I
Okay,
parts
have
so
of
if you
a
it.
guys
lot of
like Adventure
characters
Time
too.
at all, if you guys like Adventure Time at all, do yourselves a favor and watch Distant Lands.
Yeah,
Because it's like each episode is like it's like a mini movie. It's like about 40 minutes or so. So it's like
Yeah.
watching a few Adventure Time episodes like all strung together into one.
Yeah.
And holy shit, like that I think especially the one with like Marceline and Bubblegum, that shit made
I've
me
seen
cry.
that one. That one's really
Mhm.
good. And then
It's
they
so
just
good.
started a Fiona and Cake spin-off,
Yeah, Fiona King.
Mm-hmm.
and I need to watch
Yep.
that.
Same. Yeah. Because like they release them like a lot more slowly, like, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
They sort of just take their time with it, and they just release it when it's ready, and it's like
Mhm.
you can feel the love they pour into it. It's just it's cool. Like it gives you like little nods to like the other characters and stuff like that, but it's like, and sometimes like they'll be there, but like way in the future, so they'll be different. But
Yeah.
it's cool. It makes you kind of feel like, yo, like life actually went on after this,
Yeah.
and it's and it's cool because like it delves into the past, like with like Marceline and I know they do that to death like in the show already, but like like it answers some questions like that you know were wondering the whole time. So I love it
Yeah,
so much.
that's one of the things that I loved about Dragon Ball was that like you got to see these characters grow up as you like progressively watch the series.
Yeah,
And like Adventure Time has that similar thing where like you get to see like their life throughout the show.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just like one of the interesting like keys I think that shows can really like grapple you in with because it's like
Mhm.
you feel like you're there for like that entire time of them like growing up and figuring out who they are and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, and even when they think they know, and like they're like adults, like something else happens. Like, hey, they have kids, and their kids have kids, and it's kind of like
Mhm.
like it's like especially with like Dragon Ball. Because I know Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are like vastly different in how they feel, but they all
Yes.
continue the same story, sort of. I'm not like I haven't sat down and watched most of them, but I've watched a good amount of I think regular Dragon Ball, like not Z, and then like I watched some of Z, and then I watched a good chunk of Super
Yeah.
for a while, and it was just even me like from an outsider's kind of perspective, like I can see like why people enjoy it, and it's just because the characters are
Mhm.
fun. Like
Yeah.
they're lovable characters. Like yeah, okay, there's guys fighting and shit, whatever. That's your description of it when you're a kid, but then like when you're an adult and you're watching it, you're like, oh well, okay, yeah, there was a lot of filler and it was mostly guys fighting, but there was something about these like you had to like these characters in order to stomach like sitting through all this fucking filler and shit. Like, and
Mhm.
sometimes you kind of appreciate some of those filler episodes too, like watching to see what these characters do, when they're not screaming at each other and ripping their shirts off as they level up or whatever.
Yeah. One of
So
one
it's
of the
like,
things that I
yeah.
can't stand about older anime is just how horny they are out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand it, dude. I mean everybody in
You're
Dragon
talking like
Ball.
Brock or whatever, like
Yeah, Brock,
like
everybody
Pokemon.
in
Yeah,
Dragon Ball
that stereotype.
realistically is going to horny jail. Oh, he's got the machete now. No, he's pissed off because I fucking stabbed his bitch ass. Fuck off, cunt. Oh, get away from me. Oh, he's mad now. Oh.
Oh
Mad,
shit, here he
mad
comes.
man.
Ooh,
Yep.
ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh. This is it. Hit number
So
2.
it's
What a stupid
Jumper.
fucker.
I
Got
love
him.
how you're playing this because there you go. This is exactly how I play Fortnite, like against like sweats. I just kind of creep around things and then just like
Oh,
find
fuck.
them and just like pick them
Oh,
off.
he jump scared the fuck out of me. He was right there. Okay. All right. Use the environment to sneak up on David. Shut the fuck up. Don't tell me how to
Have
play
you
the
ever
game.
thought about sneaking up on him? Duh.
Have I thought about sneaking up on him? No, I haven't. I'm glad somebody
This
told
game's
me.
really giving you the tutorials. And, do you know you can
Okay.
push this button to jump?
All the way over there. Dodge these plates.
Did you know that Ellie has a knife that you can use to stab David?
I just love the like stupid, like irrelevant, like tips games give you. Sometimes it's just like.
Did you know that David wants to fucking do horrible
Yes.
things to Ellie?
Yes. Yep.
Did you know
David-
this?
It needs to die.
David would be the one person we would not let on kiddos. Please download
Exactly.
kiddos for your children.
Yeah.
Kinder.
Yeah,
for your-
download.
Don't give out your password to anyone. It's just got a picture of his face on there. Like it's like those warning screens, like on when you're on like Fortnite. Don't give out your password. Whatever. It's like that.
Don't give
His
out your
face.
password to anyone, especially not David.
Especially this
He
guy.
is- He is Kinder's #1 most wanted predator.
Exactly.
Predator.
There we go. That's 3 for 3, baby. God damn.
Noise. I love when like games give like they try to be helpful, but it ends up like being like embarrassing or like condescending. Like I remember we had like a Wii U, or my buddy had a Wii U launch party, right? And
Yeah.
so we're all over there playing all the games. We're going through all of them, man. We're playing the karaoke games. We're playing, of course you play Nintendo Land because it's great. And then like we got to like Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed or whatever, and it's like the game just like we're doing 4-player split screen, or I think it was 3-player screen and split screen, and one of them was like on the gamepad. And like the game dead ass just stops us in the middle of it and says, "Hey, one of the players doesn't know how to play this game right. Do you want to
That's
like learn how to
hilarious.
whatever?" It was so fucking funny,
That
and
is
that
so
person was like
good.
felt so called out by the game. It's
As
like,
they
I
should.
think they were having trouble with the. They were having trouble because like the game transforms you every like lap right on the track. So there was like a plane section where they didn't know. I think they just didn't know if they wanted to like invert the controls or whatever for their plane. So it was just really funny because some people play it like Star Fox where down is up and up is down, and then some people play it
I
like
can't stand that
like
shit.
up down left right. So
Ugh.
but yeah, well you got to have inverted options. So it's
Back in. Back. We're back. Okay. Jesus. I am having a rough time over here. These guys are whooping my ass. Reload the shotgun, Joel. Come on.
So they're on their way to the North Pole right now. Am I mistaken?
well,
I'm pretty sure I see Santa's like.
Santa, yeah.
Yeah, these are all Santa's helpers. So that's actually what they don't tell you.
Joel's trying to get on the
know it.
nice list.
Fuck.
by killing all the criminals. And the
Yeah,
predators.
I'm trying to get on the nice list by fucking taking out all the predators.
Santa put him on the bad list, so now he has
Yeah.
to like forge Santa's writing on the nice list to get a Christmas present.
Where's the
get-
list?
He's like
Daughter back.
taking his hand and like writing it in blood. I want my daughter for Christmas, you son of a bitch.
The reason why
my daughter
his-
back.
The reason why his daughter died is because she fell for the predator trick on
kiddos.
on Tinder.
on
not
Kinder.
Kinder.
On Kinder.
No, not on Kinder. Because she didn't use Kinder.
We can't call it
Because it wasn't
kiddos.
safe.
That's too on the nose.
Yeah.
We can't
Because
call
she
it
didn't
kiddos.
Because she didn't use Kinder, she used another site that did not have adult protection.
Adult protection
No
sounds so
two-factor.
weird. No two-factor authentication. I need you to
Yeah.
upload a picture of you not having an ID and also you like being in a school. And that's how we verify that the kids on Kinder are real. And that's the only time that they ever get to conversate with an adult on Kinder ever is through customer support whenever they have to pay me $700 a month for their subscription.
No, just roll back child labor laws and just make it where children are running the verification. So it's never an adult.
We put and our turnover rate is really high because once they turn 18 we have to fire them. We can't keep them
That's like-
around.
Some Zoolander shit right there.
Yeah, it's the exact
These poor
opposite.
babies want to go to work.
Hey, they can't
like-
form a union, so that's fine with the high turnover rate.
Yeah, hey, bust unions. Oh fuck, they have Ellie's backpack. Oh no. Okay, we gotta go through this fucking creepy ass place. You know, while we're coming up to the end of our session here, is there anything you want to like shout out, you know, and anything like that? Any close to final words?
That's a great question. Yeah, I suppose I better plug what I normally do. I mean, I guess since we're normally broadcasting this on Twitch, I don't really have anything to plug for on YouTube. But you know, that aside from like an old account that I never ever use, so you know, don't go there. It's full of you know, dead memes.
Yeah,
the Twitch,
do you need an editor?
You know what? That's a good question, and I'll have to get back to you on that because I'm not certain yet. Although I probably the answer might be yes, but you know I'm too intricate for you know to. I'd be like, hold on, let me do this. I'd like be getting my hands in there and be like,
I get it.
So I'm way too detailed for that. But you know, my final things I'd like to plug for is definitely the Twitch thing. So if you haven't already, it's twitch.tv/BrentZone. There's no funky characters, no numbers, no underscores, nada. Hell, you could just Google it, and it's like literally the first thing that'll come up. Maybe either that or it'll be a place in London. So if you feel like going on a trip to London, go for it. You know, tell me how it was. Other than that, you'll see me there. Probably one of the first results. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we kind of touched on it at the beginning here.
When did Nightbot do that?
I did exclamation point guess because I set it up because I'm a good host, Tyler.
Oh, nice. There's that too.
I don't know how to set up any of that, so.
Oh my god,
that is really cool.
And bro has never streamed on Twitch ever in a million years.
I have
Nope.
streamed, but you know.
So I think we kind of touched on it at the beginning, but is BrentZone the place or is your last name Zone?
You know what? It's the place. It's the place.
It's like Brent Hill Zone, Act 1
exactly.
Brent Hill
It's
Zone.
like if Brent lives on a hill, then it's exactly. And the act is however many years I've been at this, so I'm on my second year of doing this, so it's Act 2 currently. And you know, hopefully, you know, I'll take the big dirt nap before we have to start making it triple digits, you know, because that would just be too many digits. I don't know how I'm going to figure that out.
That would be too many digits. You're
you
right.
know, and of course, you know, once I, you know, do finally do that, they'll release Sonic Adventure 3 finally, and then I'll be like, damn it, you know. So I'll have to haunt people who are playing the game rather than, you know, actually get to play it vicariously and like yell at people that they're taking care of their chow wrong. You know. So yeah.
I think that all chows should be like drowned and slammed against the wall.
See, I feel like that's a waste. You can just put them on pizza. Like and just like little bite-sized pieces, just put them on pizza, you know. It's a delicacy, you know. It's frowned upon sometimes, but if you don't tell the people that it's chow, it's fine. People actually say they're really tasty. So yeah. It's yeah.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up our session for tonight. So thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks Brent
Thank you,
for
Goonsters.
Yeah,
coming by.
Thank you for having me. It's honestly flattering, like to actually be invited to stuff. Like I appreciate that.
Of course, no problem.
Yeah.
And you know, anytime you wanna hang out or collaborate on something else, you know how to get in contact with us.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Whenever we play Sonic, we'll invite you on.
Oh,
absolutely. I'll be here. That and Assassin's Creed. Because like I won't shut up about that either. Yeah, and of course I'll like remind you at every turn how it links to Sonic.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course.
Absolutely. You could give me your life's backstory, and I can tell you that Sonic, you know, there was one set of footprints because Sonic carried you the whole way. You just didn't know it.
Jesus Christ.
You know, so yeah, literally, that's Jesus Christ's thing.
No. All right, goodbye. It is 12:30 in the morning here. I'm going to bed.
Get some sleep.
Bye.